Boom. Hello. Why is chat empty? Okay. It's like, I swear I tested that before stream started. Finally let you post your streak on mobile. That's a new feature, isn't it? I mean, I guess it's been a few weeks now, but I actually haven't seen it yet. But thank you everyone for your stream streak clock. Kami with the 20 streak is pretty wild. I think you're the biggest streak number we've seen so far, actually. Thank you, I appreciate it. Hello, YouTube side. Also, Meowdy, Karma, Yota, Santiago, Milo. There was someone else. Cerise. Yes, I saw you earlier. Did I miss anyone? Oh, Doodle's here too. Marta's here. Hello, welcome. Oh, it's your first time watching this stream. Thank you for coming in. I hope you enjoy yourself. We do have a really chill stream today, and I literally, like, I know I often go like, today will be a short stream, but I actually have to have a short stream today. By my definition, anything under 3 hours is short, and I have to attend a meeting at 7 p.m. my time. So I actually literally have to end. Wait, actually, that reminds me, I should set a timer. I tend to lose track of time. I mean, typical ADHD stuff, right? So nothing new, but you have to do things to prevent yourself from being a flaky loser. So we're gonna do a 6:55 p.m. For safety, let's say 6:50 p.m. reminder. Okay, cool. First time on Twitch, usually on YouTube. Oh, Cars, welcome on Twitch side. Do you have a platform preference? I personally find, I think when I watch, because I don't chat a whole lot, when I watch, I like to watch on YouTube. When I chat, I like to chat on Twitch. It's like, yeah, I think as a moderator, I prefer Twitch also. The YouTube moderation tools are just not it. They're not there. How you doing? I'm doing okay. How are you doing, Santiago? What kind of meeting? I'm a member of our local PFLAG board, and I'm our board rep today for like a regional meeting. They happen monthly. Non-profit shenanigans. I put the tube on in the chat here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys get it. You guys get it. Twitch chat is just more, I don't know, maybe it's just because YouTube chat is smaller for me because I've been streaming on Twitch a lot longer and the YouTube multi-streams are new, so we're still like building up chat there. But I think Twitch chat is it just moves a little faster, which makes it a little more fun as a chatter. And then in my case, like I'm required by TOS to only show one of the chats, so I can't combine them, unfortunately, which means I had to choose one, so I chose Twitch on screen. And then, because YouTube chat is preserved anyway, on the sidebar, right? So I was like, it just sucks because like YouTube side can see Twitch chat, but not vice versa. I really don't like that, but it's like, I don't know what to do. That's just where we're at. I look forward to watching more of your content and streams. Thank you, Santiago. I appreciate it. The Twitch chat environment is better than YouTube, generally speaking, but I don't like Twitch as a company. Hey. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right, Meowdy, is that, it's like no matter what we do, we line the pockets of people we don't like. I went to my optometrist this morning. Is my annual like eye checkup, right? And my optometrist is he's like the husband, and then his wife is she like runs the operations, I guess. She also does a lot of like glasses fittings and stuff for people. So usually after you're done with your eye exam, he hands you to his wife, and then they're both really like chatty in a fun way kind of people. I'm also a yapper, so I have a lot of fun every year yapping with them whenever I go in for my checkup. And so today was no different, except we yapped for like, my eye exam was like an hour and a half. Oh no, it was a half an hour long, and then I was yapping with his wife after for an hour and a half after, and we're spending the whole time just talking about like like how screwed the system is, how much she hates AI, how I quit my job over AI, what I think is gonna happen to AI, her recent frustrations with AI related tooling and her like scheduling software, how private equity is like buying out optometrist offices, how they're super fed up with all of the problems related to just like running a small business in the US is just like becoming more and more and more inhospitable, you know? And so like all of the issues they've been running into recently around like taxes and fees and like VSP in our case for insurance, it was just like literally an hour and a half of us just like screaming over these issues. It was a very good conversation, but I do feel like we both came out of it like really doomer. The bubble can't pop soon enough. I know, right? I think the interesting question to consider is like what kind of a bubble it is. I have a whole bunch of books on hold at the library right now about the .com bubble, because I feel like we're probably like my instincts are saying it's something like the .com bubble where it's not all lost, if that makes sense. Like we're not we're not gonna just build a bunch of infrastructure that we're never gonna use again. I mean, you guys know I hate data centers as much as the next person, but I also think I think if we're lucky, it'll end up kind of like fiber getting built out during the dot-com bubble, and then after it busts, like we still ended up using all of the miles and miles and miles of fiber that we built. I want to hope that we can put the data centers, like if we're not gonna firebomb them, you know, like whatever is left over, I hope we'll actually have a usage for them, and then find a way also just like from an ecology and ecosystem standpoint for it to not be quite as destructive. But it's really hard to say right now because everything is changing so fast, but we'll see. Everything's escalating so fast. Torodoko is like, I'm AI, I'm offended. Maybe one day someone will take over a data center and turn it into a giant garden. Are data centers good fits for gardening? I guess technically, if you were to repurpose the racks for hydroponics, I could see it. Let's grow weed every day, guys. Pandora's box has been opened within. Well, we can't put it back in the box. It'll certainly dial back a lot. Yeah, I would like to think that it'll be kind of like, even if it's not like a full bubble pop, some kind of like a market correction type adjustment, you know? But the only way to know is for it to happen. So that was actually something the optometrist's wife, or I should say, I guess their office manager. I don't know what her title is. She's their administrator, I guess. That was her main question. She was like, I agree with your take that it's like coming up on a dead end, but like, what can we do to accelerate it? And I was like, oh my God, she's a whole ass accelerationist. I respect it. Boria, hello. Infrastructure is always good to have, even after the war that built it. You always have such a poetic way of putting things. Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. Arithmetic inside, Bruna. People think LLM is how we get to AGI when people realize this is not the path bubble whoopers. I do hope so. I do hope so. I think a lot of people are very much conflating all of the AI related terminology. I don't know. I just always think about how I used to be such an optimist when it came to AI. This was way back, I studied AI a little bit when I was in college. And I worked at a company that I thought was putting AI to really good use, actually. We were using it, we had a really mature, like categorizations type ML model that we were running and finessing for like over a decade, like a really, really, really long time. And then when LLM showed up, this is part of what made me quit. LLM showed up and the execs were like, yeah, so those models that we've been fine-tuning and finessing for over a decade, forget them. Because the hot stuff right now is LLMs. So why don't we just use LLMs to do categorization? And then we were like, do you have any idea how any of this works? Like, do you understand the cost ratio for this? do you know anything about what you're talking about? Yeah, what? Excuse me? Every single AI PM I knew at the company was like mad pissed. I was like, you should all quit. Like overnight, we went from I felt like one of the companies that was doing it right to like, just like everybody else, you know? It was horrific. The way I would have had to use my entire restraint. I know, I was like, I should have quit on the spot. And then I often say this, I've said this a few times on stream now, but when I quit, you know how they do an exit interview? Like I really should have been a lot more vocal about the AI stuff. Like I really should have just straight up been like, when they ask you why you're quitting, I was like, oh, I'm quitting to pursue other opportunities, which is like correct. Like I didn't lie. It was one of the reasons, but up there in my top 3 also is like, you guys keep making me do AI bullshit and like, I don't want to anymore. I'm fucking fed up. Stop. Execs don't get enough shit for their bad opinions. I know, right? The craziest part was, and I don't think I'm like legally allowed to say how much we were spending, but just know that it was in the multiple millions, like per month on AI models that were never proven out, that nobody really fully understood. The risk factors weren't even analyzed. They were hallucinating all over the place. They were obviously, because of millions of dollars a month, way more expensive than the ML models we had built in-house that were like based on traditional ML techniques that were doing a great job actually and were continuing to get better. No, they wanted to replace our this beautiful scalpel that we had built together over the years. They wanted to replace the scalpel with a monster truck with like a sledgehammer attachment, and then maybe also like a crane arm to swing it with, you know, like a crazy amalgamation of bullshit. Oh, and it cost several $1 million a month. Like, fuck you, bro. You know what you could do with that much money? You could pay us all more. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Whenever executives end up with a pile of cash, what do they do with it? Stock buybacks. Fuck, dude. Whatever. Upper management will look at all the data and be like, could we be out of touch? No, it's the employees that are wrong. Yeah, literally talk to anybody who was working with me at that time and everybody was like, man, fuck this AI bullshit. That monster truck sounds like money well spent. Yeah, certainly, surely. You could afford YouTube Premium with that much. You're so right, Doko. That shit is not cheap. Could update the infrastructure with those funds. Put in heated toilet seats. I know, we could all get the like fancy Japanese like bidet toilets. Oh my god. Every time I think about it, I get mad. Anyway. I'm allowing all these swears as warranted for this topic. Exactly, Mikachu. I was having that exact thought just now. Every time I cussed in the last like 5 minutes, I was like, warranted. Warranted, valid, deserved. Okay, anyway, let's all take a deep breath. Forget the bullshit. There's plenty of bullshit. It's gonna be there no matter what. We will have to deal with it as it comes. And for the next, like, I don't know, 2.5 hours, I'm just not gonna think about it. It's not worth my stress like that. That was a hilarious thing my mom I was like, I have been involved in local politics for a long time here. And my mom is always like, she super doesn't approve of it. She's really just like, how can you waste your time on these like stupid ass people who don't deserve you, you know? And I always just look at her and I'm like, okay, where in the world do you think does deserve the effort I put into my civic duties? Like, name one place on earth that does deserve it. And I'll take your argument seriously. And she's always just like, okay. She'll change the topic. Like, I don't think she can name a single place, you know what I mean? Ying for world emperor? No. No Palpatine in my future, please. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. John's like, I like your mother. Your mom is a jerk. I like how these, like, there's a lot of back-to-back differing opinions here. That's how I feel, but at the same time, if you don't do something, who will? I give myself a little flag for it. Yeah. I think it's good to hold our own feet to the fire to the levels where we feel like we're holding ourselves accountable without burning ourselves out. Burning yourself out doesn't benefit anybody, you know what I mean? So don't be too hard on yourselves. One of my favorite Chinese sayings is 要放过自己，要放过自己，要饶过自己. Literally just like you have to forgive yourself, you have to let yourself, you have to permit yourself, you have to allow yourself, you have to let go. First time I heard it, I actually got kind of emotional. I was like, yeah, 是要饶过自己，要放过自己. Not the Ying Pyre. Ying for president for life. No, thank you. No, thank you. I joke all the time. I can never run for office again because I started streaming after I lost my local election. And I was like, I actually think that streaming has made me utterly unelectable. Like, if somebody wanted to like create negative advertising of me, it would be the easiest shit in the world to just like go through my VODs and make a supercut of me saying shit like, we should firebomb the data centers. Easiest shit in the world to take me down. But also I was like talking to my friends about this, my friends who I guess you could say they were my like campaign managers when I was running. And one of them was like, well, you could think about it from the other perspective, which is that you no longer have anything left to lose. Like, you've already, all of the shit that you've said about firebombing data centers, like, it's already out there. So you can just be like fully, completely, like, not that I wasn't authentic in my previous campaign anyway, but like I can be even more unabashedly myself. And then it's like, if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. That's just how it's going to be. Like, you don't have to be second guessing how you're going to brand yourself anymore, because that's already kind of a foregone conclusion. And I was like, that's kind of a good point. It's giving Leslie Knope running for council. Yeah. Ying doesn't like VTubers. Wait, you're right, but where is this coming from? No, I conditionally like VTubers. Very strong emphasis on the word conditional. It's pulling a lot of weight there. I can bash more unabashedly. Precisely. Well said. Anyway, like I said, we'll set it aside for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We're gonna watch some TV videos. For those of you who haven't already picked up on it, I'm experimenting with some more like throwaway type short form content, like just kind of saying whatever I want whenever I want to, and then putting it out there without worrying too much about format or content or relevance or algorithm or whatever. You know, I'm just gonna do whatever I want for a year and see what happens. That was the promise I made to myself. So some of you may have noticed I've been posting a lot more bullshit. But so far, honestly, it's been really fun. I think the bait I posted yesterday in particular was especially fun. I like blocked a lot of people and it felt so good. I'm really vindictive about it. So we're gonna do more of that. I like that video. Thank you. I always tell people, like, you really have to, I think some of my friends who are just starting out in, or not even necessarily friends, but like people starting out in VTubing and streaming, a lot of them are really worried about like keeping the, you know, and I get it. Like when you're first starting out, you have like 20 people in chat, you worry about alienating like anyone. But I always ask them, like, if you're not authentically yourself on stream, and then you have to, like, I don't know, always be guarding every word that you say, making sure you're presenting yourself in whatever, I don't know, fucking apolitical way you want to be. And then you're letting these people who give you bad vibes, that rub you the wrong way, who don't agree with your basic moral principles, like, you let them do whatever they want in your chat. Like, do you enjoy that? And let's set you aside for a moment. Like, does the people that you actually like in chat, do you think they enjoy that? Like, no. You have to prune. You can only grow a flourishing garden if you weed out some of the bullshit, you know? So that's why I feel like speaking your mind is important, because the bullshit will show itself to the door. The number of comments that I got that were like, this 180 that you took, like, thank you for taking this 180 because now I've lost interest in your content. And I don't reply to them, right? But in my head, I was like, this is exactly the effect I wanted. So I don't even have, you know, you guys are weeding yourselves out, so I don't have to. But I shadow ban them anyway, just in case. Sometimes these people come back and they try to leave like a bunch of comments. They're fucking annoying. And I read all of my comments because I love my comments. That's the whole point of why I'm here. So I want to make sure I never see them again. But the 180 is especially funny. I'm like, yeah, like, what did you think I was? Building a community requires pruning. Exactly. It's mostly pruning. Precisely. Never accept the lack of human decency as a legit political position ever. Well said, Moldy. Well said. A plant can only grow and flourish if you prune it. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it's true. And it's a lesson I have learned from literally having plants. Actually, speaking of which, this one's overdue for a pruning. Look how long, it's like touching the floor. There's a yellow leaf right here because I ain't been pruning. Oopsies. John, you're so right. It is not easy. I think people underestimate how much community management is important for streaming. Pruning stream, I guess we've done repotting streams. We've never done a pruning stream. And I think it's because I would have had to put you guys on my laptop and like carry you around the house because I have plants all over the house. We could do it sometime. I could try. I would probably have to choose a day my roommate's not home just in case. I don't want to like accidentally expose her in the background. I would watch a plant care stream. We've done plant care streams. Well, we've done repotting streams mostly. Sometimes I prune them like while I'm repotting them, but yeah. She's a little freedom fighter. I'm never purchasing at this establishment again energy. Like, okay, goodbye. Well said. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You can carry chat uppies. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been doing with our cooking streams, right? On the laptop. Every time I pick you guys up to go to like the mixer corner or the stove corner or whatever, and everybody's just like, uppies! Is your roommate in witness protection? No, I just don't want to be exposing people living their like normal day-to-day life, like in their pajamas on the internet, you know? Okay, so we're clear the pruning stream is not an inquisition of chat to see who gets shadow banned. I mean, is that not what it is? Is that not literally what? Did I not literally set a trap for people to show themselves at the door? Or for me to expedite their exit? That part's fun too. Okay, let me top up my tea. And then I have a whole playlist of videos that I want to watch. Actually, there's so many in there and some of them are so long that we're not going to make it through all of them. So we'll just take it easy. If we feel like yapping, we can just yap. I'm just here to chill today. Oh, wait, why did I uncap this all the way? That was not necessary. Okay, anyway. For white teas, I like to put them in a teapot, a glass teapot usually, so I can see. You can see they get really dark, which is really crazy to me. But this one's actually a Colombian white tea, which is pretty crazy. I like didn't know until I started buying from this tea shop that Colombia even produced tea. And it tastes really good, actually. I really like it. The tea company I got this from is called, let me see. Yes, it's called Happy Earth. They make one of my favorite chunpi pu'ers too. Oh, it's not capping. Okay. There we go. If you guys have never tried a white tea before, it's actually, I think kind of an acquired taste. I think a lot of people don't like white teas off the bat, but I find that once you get used to the flavor, they're kind of, they tend to have a really sweet, smooth, like velvety kind of aftertaste. So I find it a really comforting flavor. And I like that it's not actually, generally speaking, it's really difficult to oversteep a white tea. And as somebody with ADHD who forgets about my tea for hours at a time, it's very comforting to know that I cannot oversteep a white tea. That's why I put it in a teapot and then I leave it on my like mug warmer thing on the table. And I actually have, this one is from Colombia. This is, the Happy Earth Tea Company is based in Rochester, New York. This is the name of the white tea, and then it's a Colombian white tea. Yeah. It's an actual thermos. Yeah, it is. I take it camping. I wanted to go day camping more this year, so I started arming myself up a little bit. Looks like coffee. It does, right? It has that like deep, dark color, almost like a roasty color to it. I agree. I strongly agree. It looks like a pour over coffee. Did someone say smooth? I actually haven't fully looked into why it's called I assume it's called an Andean peony because it's named, or rather probably the same cultivar as the white peony, which is one of the most popular white teas, the Chinese white teas. So probably they just took the same cultivar and like grew it in the Andes instead. And now it's an Andean peony, but I really like it. I've been trying to finish I have like 9 of these. Actually, I've been meaning to make a video for ages explaining my tea organization system, but I keep 9 glass canisters going at all times. And my rule is I have to finish all 9 of them before I restock. So it forces me to like distribute my tea consumption so I don't focus on just like the one tea. I just accepted I'd be drinking bitter teas forever, but hey, I'll try this white tea this weekend. Oh, if you steep white teas for a really long time, you'll still get a little bit of that bitter finish, but I think the more interesting thing, actually a lot of Chinese teas are like this. The higher quality ones, you'll find that there is a little bit of astringency, like that bitterness, but then after the bitterness, the bitterness hits off the top, right? And then as it fades, the bitterness leaves behind, kind of like almost like a photographic negative, or like if you stare into a bright light for a long time and then you look away, you can see sort of like an after image, right? In the after image of the bitterness, there's a lingering sweetness that sticks around. We call it huigan in Chinese, which literally means like a returning sweetness. A lot of teas have that. A lot of the nicer Chinese teas will have that quality to them. And I notice it more often in white teas. Yeah. Rochester is about 1 hour from you. Oh, that's so close. You're a New Yorker? Caffeine has a flavor. I actually didn't know that. What does caffeine taste like on its own? Is glass okay for loose tea? I don't know why I feel like I read somewhere they shouldn't be exposed to light too much. Oh, so that's the thing. That's why I use you're not supposed to. But generally speaking, when they say don't expose it to light, they mean like direct sunlight. So I live in a really dark, because I've heard me complain many times about it, but I live in a really, really dark place. It faces like northeast, so I don't get a lot of natural light, unfortunately. Like the windows are massive, but like for what? All I get is shadow. I joke that my house is a wine cellar. So for me, it's not a big deal. What matters to me more is that my ADHD won't forget what teas I have. So I need a glass canister so I can see. Yeah, that's it. Just don't put your loose leaf teas in direct sunlight. Make sure it's like a relatively moderate temperature, right? Ideally cooler and drier, and then you're okay. That's why in many ways, like living in a wine cellar house is actually very good as someone who enjoys tea and wine. Like all of my tea and wine is perfectly stored. Mostly the UV light. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that was something I learned today at my eye doctor appointment. I've had this sorry, this is like gonna be a little gross. So if you're squeamish, stop listening for like 2 minutes. There's been a not yellow, but like yellowish kind of a bump on my eye, sort of on this corner, on this inner corner in the eye whites. And I noticed it because I was on a plane and in the bathroom, you know how you're like really close to the mirror because the bathroom's like super teeny on an airplane? I was like really close to the mirror, and then like the angle of the light was such that it caught my eye from the side, and I was like, there's like a glint in my eye that looks wrong. So I looked like way closer and I was like, is that like a lump? Like, is there a lump on my eye? Like, and then it's you know how your brain immediately goes like, oh my God, I have cancer, I'm gonna die tomorrow. But I was like, okay, my eye doctor appointment's coming up in like a month, I'll ask then, and I did today. And he looked at it, and it's called I wrote it down and I forgot what it's called. Wait, my friend tweeted it at me. Let me find it again. But basically he was like, oh, so that's basically like, it's a common thing for people who work in the great outdoors. So like construction workers get this a lot because it has to do with like dry eye and UV exposure. It's kind of like a callus, but on your eye. And it forms on the membrane that goes over your cornea that covers the whites of your eyes. It's called, hold on. Looking for my friend's reply. Oh, a pterygium? A pterygium? Hold on. It's like spelled really wacky. Let me, pterygium? A pterygium. Here you go. Here you go. You really are from Mondstadt. Oh, Moody, hello, welcome. Bedpiece, welcome. Good to see you. And he was like, very normal, not a big deal. Annoyingly, you know how often you bring all kinds of issues to the doctor and then they're like, you need to sleep more, drink more water, and exercise? like no matter what issue you bring to them, they're like, you need to drink more water, sleep more, and exercise. Like it's always the same freaking response. It happened again. I was like, what do I do? And then he was like, you just need to drink more water. Like you need to drink more water and keep your glasses on so it's filtering out the harsh blue light. Like pterodactyl, but I instead of dinosaur. Exactly. I'm glad you like the thumbnail. I very much enjoy taking the stupid selfie versions of thumbnails. Sleep, water, exercise. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Even with a broken arm, they're gonna walk it off. Are you dead? But yeah, apparently it helps decrease the mass, I guess, if your eye is less dry. And so whatever it takes to avoid your eyes drying out more, including keeping your computer glasses on when you're in front of screens, including phones, when you're outdoors, like hat and sunglasses, and then drinking a lot of water. That's kind of it. I actually did not ask if it'll ever go away. He like wrote it down on a note for me and he was like, you can go look up more information when you're home. And I was like, thanks, doc. And then moved on with my life. You know, he said it wasn't cancer, so I'm not dying, so it's fine. Didn't your doctor recommend an eye drop? No, so he was like, artificial tears and like lubricant eye drops can help. But what you really need to be doing is like preventing blue light and drinking water. He was like, those are the two main things. Yeah. You need to lose weight. Oh my God. Logical drift. Yes. I'm lucky in that that's never been said to me because my weight is like extremely healthy. I'm just, I think, genetically gifted on this front. But I've been reading a bunch of books about health recently, right? Well, I started in like end of life healthcare, like morbidity stuff, and then it's been slowly drifting me towards like other health related topics. And so I recently read a book about the title was What We Don't Talk About When We Talk About Weight, and it was written by somebody who is, I guess, like the current medical system would categorize her as obese, and so she has a lot to say on the topic and what it's like growing up fat and like where it comes from. And then in adulthood, also just in your day-to-day life, like the ways that it affects you, the things that people don't know, the biases that are totally unfounded in science. And like one of the things that comes up a lot is the health issue that a lot of doctors will just you have to advocate for yourself so much harder when you are quote unquote overweight based on their bullshit BMI scale, which isn't even science. Because nobody takes you seriously as long as you're any kind of overweight, because they're like, oh, clearly it's your weight that's causing this issue. She tells a story where one time she went in for her first doctor's appointment in a long time, and the nurse like took her blood pressure and kind of like squinted at the screen like, and then went to get like another cuff and then another cuff. And then finally she was like, is everything okay? And the nurse was like, yeah, no, I just like, I'm not sure I'm getting an accurate reading. Like this says that your blood pressure is fine, but like overweight patients don't have good blood pressure. And then she's like, we can and do have healthy blood pressure. like we exist. Anyway, it was a really good book. I thought it struck a really perfect balance between like the memoir aspects of like, let me bring my personal experience into this scientific topic that I'm writing about, and also like citing good papers and research and like recent research also, and then spanning not just sort of like the really data-driven stuff as like quantitative data, but also qualitative sociological studies. Like there was a lot, it covered a lot of ground in a good balance. It was a good book. Sage Souls, welcome to chat. Me with PCOS and insulin resistance, to my doctor, you need to lose weight, but your PCOS is causing you not to lose weight. PCOS is really one of those, like, the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, wow, this sucks. Like, I have no other word. The crazy, what even is the word I'm looking for? Like, the way it just sort of percolates into a bajillion other health issues. That's insane. That's insane to me. Holy shit. All from like what essentially boils down into like a severe hormone imbalance, right? Like, wow. Damn. I'm sorry. But I'm glad that also like the way we talk about these things has actually, I think, shifted really, really quickly in the discourse. Like over the last several years, it's really changed a lot. And I think we've all gotten a little bit better at advocating for ourselves in a healthcare context. Some of us maybe have an easier time than others. I recognize that. Like even me getting an ADHD diagnosis, there's no way I could have done that without a hefty amount of self-advocating. My next uphill battle is allergies. They refuse to let me take a panel for what I believe are fair reasons, but now my sinuses are like so bad that I think something else is up. I think I do need a panel. Anyway, I'm a medical student in the final year. I can tell you the doctors are taught weight is the major problem, but if you ask medical scientists, know the proper and latest treatment. That was one of the things that came up in the book also, was that like medical, like a lot of the bias that modern medicine has against overweight people, right? The most damaging biases and assumptions that make it harder for them to get adequate treatment is a lot of that is communicated during medical school. It's just like the assumption of it being the underlying cause of like all of your problems, when that's not actually always the case, or even not actually often the case. Anyway, why can't you take a panel? They were saying that it's kind of like pinpointing an allergy is kind of like finding a needle in a haystack. Like it's kind of like shooting in the dark when you do a panel, because there's so many possible things you can be allergic to. And so they were like, unless you can narrow it down to like a sort of subset of things that you suspect, it's hard for us to run a panel efficiently. That's the word I was looking for. And they're like, and the panel itself is not a fun process for you. So before we do this, we would want to make sure we have some idea of like what direction you're heading in. So for example, a common thing that people might test for is like mold related allergies. And then hay fever stuff I asked about because I have really, really, really horrific spring allergies. And they only let me do a blood test. They were like, we can do an allergy test, like, because the blood tests are easier, I think, than the like panels where they do like a row of bumps on your back or whatever. And then that one returned. It was hilarious, actually. It was like, you're so allergic to birch that technically, if you were ever in a situation that had technically you could die. I was like, oh, well, that explains a lot. Because my parents' house for a long time, it had a birch tree in front of it. Which might be why my childhood allergies were so bad and then later on got better, was because the birch tree died. Survival of the fittest, bitch! Who won in the end, me or the birch tree? Guess who's here? Anyway, that's probably what it was. It's probably the birch tree, which is sad because I really love birch trees, but I guess evidently they're out to kill me. I was like, this is honestly concerning enough that maybe we should do like more pollen tests. And they were like, well, but it's also conclusive enough for you to know that like various types of tree pollen fuck you up. So maybe just like avoid the outside world during the spring. And I was like, that sounds miserable. I think I'd rather die. Outlive the tree. Exactly, Dracaria. This town wasn't big enough for the both of us. Well said, Marta. Guess who won? It turns into give us all your money so we can like search around a bit with no clear direction. Yeah. That's kind of what they were afraid of doing. They didn't want to waste their time doing that. Yeah. My thing is, I don't want to still have these issues after I lose weight. If I lose weight and they go away, great, but it's not going to be instantaneous. What if these problems get worse? Right, exactly. And then like, I also think it's underrated. Like the risks of suddenly losing a lot of weight are also like not to be understated. Like weight loss is itself something you would want to be doing carefully, right? I don't know. After reading that book, I was already thinking about it. That's why I picked up the book. I've been thinking about it for a long time, reading a lot of articles and stuff about it. It was my first time reading like a book on the subject. By the end of it, I was like, I don't know. I can't take a lot of the discourse seriously anymore around it. And I wish, actually, I think the book was published before like Ozempic became a thing. I'm gonna go see if maybe the author's written like an article or something about GPT, what they call not GPT. Oh my God, that's chat. We were talking about AI and ML so much earlier. GLP-1s. That's what it is. My brain, I had to reach into the caverns of my tumbleweed of neuron connections. What are your birch tree allergies like? Just imagine like, do you have like cat allergies? It's typical allergy stuff. Like your nose closes up, your throat itches. Actually, the back of your tongue leading into your throat also itches. My nasal passages get so swollen, I literally cannot breathe through my nose, like at all. No air passing through my nose. I get extremely itchy eyes, and if I don't rub them, they start burning. If I do rub them, they actually do burn anyway, but then they start to like tear up, run, swell. The craziest thing was like that membrane over your cornea on your eyes, like that can swell. It formed a little like bulbous pocket. It was disgusting. I couldn't like blink. Yeah, my cat allergies are kind of like that too, but I evidently got used to Sapporo. Did you know you could do that? You can acclimate yourself to a specific cat. I got over my Sapporo allergies in like 2 weeks. It was crazy. I went from like being extremely allergic to her to being able to put my face in her fur. Like, it's crazy. Write a book on allergies, and allergies will affect every part of the body. Yeah, it was very like all over. But I respond to different allergens differently. Like I'm mildly allergic to mangoes and avocados, and those give me skin issues. And like itchy throat and tongue. But other than itchy throat and tongue, it's just skin issues. I get like weird, like hive-like lumps. Kind of like a rash, I guess. Otaku, happy 15 stream streak. Hello. You saved your streaks. You did. Not Sapporo allergies. Yeah, exactly. I'm not allergic to Sapporo. She's my one cat exception. I vaccinated myself. Yeah, it's like allergy shots, but like for one specific cat. Time to adopt a birch tree. You're so right. You're so right, Torodoko. Why did I think of that? Personalized medicine is what is truly needed, but that would require a certain type of healthcare here in the States. I mean, let's be real. Like, all those places with nationalized healthcare have their flaws also, right? I mean, I would still, don't get me wrong, I would still prefer them to what we have in the States, but like, I've heard enough horror stories from my Canadian friends and my British friends to know it's not all sunshine and rainbows out there either, right? This makes me wonder if people can get used to cat allergies. I wonder if I get used to my allergies. I think it also depends on the allergen. Like Sapporo's previous owner, before we adopted her, said that she found Sapporo, she also has cat allergies, and she found that for some reason, from start to finish, she just responded to Sapporo like less than to most other cats. So we also think she's, you know, strays, adopted, like you never know what a cat's genealogy is. We think she might be mixed with like some other kind of a breed, I guess, that might be more hypoallergenic. I don't know. There's like something going on with her that makes her less allergy inducing to many people, not everyone, but to many people who have cat allergies. And I've heard that from friends who visit us also, that like she kind of sets them off a little less than average. There's research on minor allergies that if you continue exposing yourself to the allergen, I didn't know that was a word, Kai. I love having medical people in our chat. By some time we'll go, it's exposure therapy, right? But like, why doesn't that work for mangoes and avocados for me? I eat so many of them. And I get the worst lumps. For the longest time I was getting these like really weird, I thought it was like cystic acne for the longest time. Like it was like, imagine like a huge lump, like you hit your head really hard and it forms a large hard lump. Like that was the kind of acne I was getting for a while. It was during a period of time when I was eating a lot of avocados. And it wasn't until several years into this that I was like, holy motherfucking shit. Was that not acne? They suddenly you know how you go through like, well, I don't know, I have hyperfixation foods, ADHD, you know, you like eat a lot of this one food for a long time and then you stop eating it for a while. I must have hit the sort of like the ebb and flow cycle, like it was ebbing. My avocado addiction must have been ebbing. And they went away and I didn't connect the pieces until like way later. I take it you stopped eating? No, well, so I still enjoy the occasional avocado. But I realized there's like a critical mass that I can't go, I can't supersede like a threshold. So if I have like half of an avocado smoothie, I'll be okay. I can have like half of an avocado, maybe one avocado per week. I've been stress testing, like trying to find the boundary. You don't get an itchy throat after eating a mango. Yeah. I was like, what do you mean? Mangoes don't make everyone itch. I was like, aren't they like pineapples? Like pineapples kind of eat you back, right? Like I thought they were like kiwis and pineapples, and everybody they're all tropical fruits. Like I think it makes sense, and people are just looking at me like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like mangoes are not. Okay, I think that was a case where maybe the swear wasn't called for. What the hell is wrong with you? I can speak on allergies quite a bit as I was born an almost legitimate bubble boy. Oh, anything with cow's milk would legit close my trachea. Oh my God. You can eat a whole pizza just fine now. Wow. And was that just exposure therapy for you, Kami? Kiwis also shouldn't do that. No, kiwis hurt to eat. I have validated this particular hypothesis with quite a few people. Kiwis hurt. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of people. Years of having stomach aches during your first period in elementary and high school before you finally figured out during university that you're lactose intolerant. Oh my God. So many people figured it out in university, actually. Because you start to actually talk to people outside your normal bubbles, I guess, like with a more diverse range of life experience in university. I think that's how we happen upon a lot of these discoveries together. See, Marta on YouTube side agrees with me. Kiwis do hurt. Right. I knew I wasn't alone on that one. I found when kiwis are riper, they get sweeter and sting less. I had the same experience, Doodle. That's why I like squish the kiwis until I feel like they're minimally aggressive, shall we say. Yeah. Do you peel your kiwis? Oh, wait. Oh, I did hear that there are some freaks that eat the skin. I don't know, the fuzziness puts me off. I slice them in half and then I scoop out with a spoon when I eat my kiwis. Yeah. Talking to another lactose intolerant person was how I discovered that you can get off-the-shelf lactate supplements. Oh, yeah, I get them from Costco. I'm actually not very lactose intolerant. I'm like, for a Chinese person, I'm extremely mildly intolerant. I joke that it's like a roulette. Like some days I'm fine, other days I'm gonna have really, really bad diarrhea. But you never know. And the only way to find out is to eat the dairy. And you know, you just have to fuck around to find out. That's just how it is sometimes. So I keep lactase on me, mostly for my friends. I keep like a whole panel of the tablets in my car. And then I set up a little like tea. Who am I, guys? You know who I am. Of course, I have a little tea station in my house. So at the tea station, I keep a little row of them just in case people want to have, it's like tea, coffee in that corner. So if they're having like a latte, they can also have a lactate with it. I do sometimes eat it with a spoon like a dragon fruit. Yeah. Oh, the skin is fun sometimes, really? Toro Doko's like, I only eat Australians, not Kiwis. Thanks, Dad. My friend can't have American. Oh my God, chat just moved really fast. My friend can't have American milk, but Japanese milk is okay. I had the same experience. I was okay with Chinese milk. I was a Mengniu kid. In Shanghai, at least, there were like two main milk brands. It was either Mengniu or Guangming, and I was a Mengniu kid. I like strongly remember preferring Mengniu because it was easier on my stomach and also tasted better. And it came in those like bags. I don't know. It was like they were like this big, like a pouch, and then it held maybe, I don't know, like a pint, maybe a little more than a pint, like half a liter, a quarter liter, something like that. And then it would come in a cardboard box, and they would like stack the pouches, like 2 columns of stacks of pouches in a cardboard box. And that was how they shipped the Mengniu. And then my grandma had for a while like the glass milk bottle deliveries every week. Those are really cute. I really enjoyed those. And when you're done with them, you finish the milk bottle, you put it back in the crate it came in, and then you set it outside your door. I really wish the US had stuff like that. I wish the US had more mature like takeout culture in general. But I also understand that we don't have the population density to make it work. Like I get it. I get why we don't have it, but I just like wish we did, you know? It would be nice. We can't be friends. I'm a Guangming kid. Guangming kids are valid. What did I say earlier? We can disagree on pizza toppings. We can't disagree on human rights. This is something we can disagree about, Moldy. I don't have to shadow ban you for that opinion. If you leave pineapple in your mouth near your cheeks, and the pineapple will chemical reaction of eating away the flesh membrane of the mouth. What does that look like? Like if you just keep a pineapple slice in the pocket of your cheek, what happens to your cheek? Like what? Does it start shredding itself? Like what is, like sloughing off? Sloughing? Sloughing? How do you pronounce that word? I don't know. Oh yeah, those bags. Yeah, some fish knows what I'm talking about. A Lala kid? I've never heard of a Lala kid, Torodoko. What does that mean? While living in Chongqing, I was convinced that dragon fruits and kiwis are siblings for like... I mean, I would believe that if you said it to me now. I'm also extremely gullible. So I was the kind of gullible kid, actually still a very gullible adult. You know how people used to like pass around notes and like play pranks on each other? I got passed a note one day that was like, there are tiny footprints on the ceiling. And I looked up. Or not only that wasn't enough, like I think like a whole year later somebody said something to me that was like so and so has gullible written on the back of their shirt or something, and I went to look. That one was much more blatant. I'm more curious than I am skeptical. Does that make sense? Like, I don't actually care if I've been lied to, but I want to know. Don't worry, I would look up too. I just remember getting the note, looking up, and then not seeing them, and then like really quizzically looking at my friend who passed me the note, And then as I turned it, we were like, this was, I think, a summer camp type situation. I was a CTY kid. So it was like CTY summer camp. So we're all in a classroom. And we were sat in it was a philosophy class. CTY nerds, man, we're crazy. I was taking a philosophy class as a 12-year-old. It was a good class, actually. That's where I learned about Rene Descartes. Semicircle of us around the classroom, 2 rows of it. And I looked to the right where my friend had passed me the note, and like the entire row of the semicircle, like everybody was looking at me and laughing. Cause I guess I found out later on during break, I was like, what was that note about? And they like had to explain to me that I got pranked. Like I didn't even understand that I got pranked. I was like, what the fuck was this note? There's no footprints on the ceiling, you stupid shitters. And they were like, you're the stupid shitter. I had a strong craving for both pineapples and Sour Patch Kids for a week. Oh, I can see that being very destructive. That kind of bullshit just made me hyper skeptical of anything people tell me unless I have prior knowledge or they have citations. I think, I mean, I am. It's not like I'm not a skeptical person, right? But I'm always going to give something a chance. Like, I think I've elected actually to be, I would rather be naive than jaded. That's like on that spectrum, I would rather fall on the side of the naive. Kids are mean, you know? I mean, it was all in good fun. Like, I didn't feel like I was bullied or anything. I'm sure if they could have told, like, if they could tell that I felt uncomfortable from that they would have probably apologized for it. It was a good group of kids. Like, I feel like the kinds of kids who go to C2Y tend to be quite thoughtful. Nerds can be. And D stuff or something. Maybe, Marta, you might be onto something. That's weird because Gullible's written on your calendar. You hold on, let me go check. Turn the other doubt. Benefit of the cheek. I like where you're going with that, Mika. It was a Christian prank. What does that even mean? Honestly, also something that'll make me dismiss people really quickly. Oh, yeah, I think some people are more sensitive than others to that kind of stuff. So I tend to avoid pranks like that. Like the pranks that come at someone else's expense. I don't mind being the butt of the joke. I know not everyone feels that way about it. Like, I get it. I think there was definitely a time where I also wasn't cool about it, but it was kind of like exposure therapy. Like we've been saying about the allergies, like the more you go through it and the more you experience it, the more desensitized me. I don't know if it's desensitizing. I just like, it's like culture shock, right? Like different groups have different norms, and that's kind of all it is. So you just want to be as respectful of people as you can be, and that's all that really matters. Okay, I have tea videos queued up, guys, I swear. That was a great chat, though. We just make you talk on and not let you watch the videos. I mean, I don't mind as long as you guys don't mind. You know what I mean? I'm just here to hang out. The videos are like a nice to have. I've been meaning to watch more TV videos. Cause like I've been telling you guys, I like want to experiment with more types of videos in general. One of the types of videos that actually you guys have been asking me for a lot, and I also want to make more of, is just like tea related videos. And then I realized the algorithm does not give me tea videos, so I don't even know like what's out there. So I figured we could watch sort of a mix of different kinds of tea videos that already exist and see what ideas come out about stuff that maybe I could contribute to the discussion. Yeah, we got tea before the tea. That's a good way to think of it, clear. I thought we were gonna watch gossip tea videos. Zil, every time I do a tea stream, somebody comes in like, what kind of tea we talking about though? I get it. They're both juicy. I wouldn't mind either. And I think we did get the capital T as well. So we have it all here. We can have it all, in fact. For tea videos, the learning curve is steep. Yeah, it's like there's such a range at many different levels. And then I think so far the person who does at least the short form stuff the best is definitely Jessie, right? Like I do get served Jessie's videos quite often by the algorithm, but I've been following Jessie since like early TikTok days. So I don't know if that really counts. I think he's kind of a niche of his own because he is like deeply unserious about his tea videos. So, you know, it's a blend of like educational and like silly ones. Like, did you guys see his tea table tea pet one? Hold on. Let me actually just look that one up. It was so fucking. What do I even? Jesse's tea house. Jesse's tea house, tea table, tea pet. Will it come up if I search this? I hope this doesn't sound weird or creepy, but you are extremely. I don't know how to say your name. Tweet Bros. I appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Where is? It was just. Oh, did a friend send it to me? It was so funny. It was like, oh, it's my own video. That's hilarious. The steep pun. I just got it. Oh, I didn't get it. The learning curve is steep. Oh, that's what you were. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't appreciate your artistry. You deserve better than me, Torodoko. That was good. That was really good. I was too excited to talk about the tea, exactly. Liz, hello. That took a while to hit. Yeah, I'm just excited, man. I want to talk about tea bags. Wait, I feel like, was it a recent one? Hold on, maybe. Okay, where did my friend send it to me? If my friend sent it to me, was it on? I think it might have been on Instagram. Okay, we have like, you guys have this problem. I have this problem. Do any of you guys share this problem where like, you have the same group chat across multiple platforms? Because I have this one group chat across like 3 platforms. Oh, I found it. I found it. It's on Instagram. Let me yoink the link. Yoink the link and then turn on my, 1 second, desktop audio. Mute the BGM. Okay. Excuse me. Okay.
This is a.
Oh, let me restart it. No. Can you stop? How do I?
This is a tea pet. This is a tea table tea pet. In the Chinese Gongfu tea making tradition, you take the tea and you put it in the equipment, which rests on the tea table. The tea table provides stability, without which the tea cannot live, or rather it did live, or rather it can't provide tea, which is what we want from it. The first steep is poured out over the tea pets for luck and auspiciousness. However, this tea pet is not just a tea pet, it's a table. And a tea table needs a tea pet. Ideally, a very small tea pet. This is why for stability, I put a tea pet on the tea pet, who is also a tea table. Sometimes we are both what we are and something deeper than that. This is tea, but it couldn't have been tea if it weren't created from tea and go into my body, which is now tea. My tea table is a tea pet, which is a tea table, which has a tea pet.
Like, it's just, it's nonsense. It was utter nonsense. And I enjoyed every second of it. Like, so good. You got your friend that tea, the little birdie one? Wait, where's my, oh, I put my tea pet over there. I only have, I think 2 tea pets. Yeah. Was it an amazing, Dave? Yeah. The recursion. It was a recursive tea table tea pet. The tea pet, that is a tea table that has a tea pet. Yeah. Well, I guess the base case we reached pretty quick. So the chicken is so cute. It really is. Yeah. I have been curious about their tea resin also, Sleepy Troll. I haven't tried it. I'm a little wary of it. Something about tea resin feels, I don't even know. Like, it feels like it would be a really good travel solution. So I keep wanting to try it. And then I just, he golden showered the chicken. You know what? To be fair, I should expect that kind of a chat message from a chatter whose username is moldy breast milk. Fair is fair. Oh, have a good day at work, Sleepy Troll. I only have 2 teeth? Wait, what? Sammy's, what did you comment on us talking about? Oh my god, Corbus, like, what? Dave has a whole, like, if statement written out. Well, so what we actually need is a series of progressively more microscopic tea table tea pets to place on infinitely recursing tea table tea pets, right? So the tea pet on the tea table should have to be an even smaller tea table tea pet, which in turn on itself has an even smaller tea table tea pet. Base case would be like whatever the smallest version of that you can make is. Russian doll tea pets, indeed. Why would they let the breast milk go moldy? Wait, Twitch side cannot see YouTube chat, so I have to read this one in its entirety, okay? Marta Wordsworth says, damn, why would they let the breast milk go moldy? Sad face. It could have been added into the tea. ... I appreciate that you guys somehow managed to one-up each other in like cursedness level. You're gonna overflow the stack like that. In this case, a literal tea pet stack. Literally overflowing the literal stack is hilarious. Actually, that's very good. We have a visionary on YouTube. One of your friends did this on a Din Tai Fung? Wait, what does that mean? Anyway, how do we even get on Jessie? I think I was making the point that like I think Jessie is kind of a special niche when it comes to tea stuff, because I think people who don't even actually care that much about Chinese tea watch Jessie because he's like, I think his sense of humor is really just like on top of it. Like it's really personal to him. I like that he feels very authentic. And you can tell that he really genuinely like loves tea, and it really comes through when he's talking about his tea. Which kind of, I think it's really hard to strike that perfect balance between like, because he owns a tea business, he's a tea importer. And when he essentially like markets his own tea shop, it doesn't feel schmarmy. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, I think it's really hard to get that kind of wholesome balance. So I appreciate his channel a lot for that. But I also think that like, that's not, it's not something everybody can do. His videos were the first time I heard about tea pets. Yeah, I think he's a really good gateway into tea content, into tea stuff in general. Like if you're breaking into Chinese teas, I think his channel is one of the first to escalate that interest. He does it really well. Okay, this is one I wanted to watch, and this one's pretty short. I've had it in the list for a while, so let's just...
Tea is the second most popular beverage in the world, only behind water. And the way each country does it tells you more than you'd think. If you don't know what tea is, it's basically flavored water made from leaves. Whole cultures have built their personality around this drink. Tea is everywhere, which means everyone thinks they've perfected it. India has chaotic street chai. Japan has quiet and calculated matcha ceremonies. Tea basically exposes how a society
He's a gateway channel to tea.
Hello world, I'm
These videos don't feel like ads. I agree.
Today we're looking at what tea reveals about the world's cultures.
Oh,
so
Doodle's
who
world
actually
building.
drinks the most tea? If we're talking volume, the answer is obvious. China and India. They have almost 3 billion people combined, so it doesn't really count. When you look at per capita,
it doesn't really count is a
Turkey,
wild take.
Ireland, and the UK. But depending on the metrics, Sri Lanka and Argentina are also up there. If you refuse a cup of tea in Turkey, you're a CIA agent. I had a 12-hour layover in Istanbul and somehow drank 6 cups. It's like you blink and suddenly you're in a carpet shop holding a glass. A quick lesson on tea before we get to the fun part. Every real
that was my
tea
experience
comes
in
from the
Istanbul
same plant.
too.
But what makes it different is how much air touches the leaves. The more air, the darker the tea. Less air means lighter tea. It's like how apple slices turn brown, but on purpose.
That's the best explanation of tea oxidation.
China drinks it daily like it's nothing. Japan has matcha, sencha, bancha. Matcha tastes like grass. Sencha is the everyday one, and bancha is the more humble version. Japanese monks use matcha to stay awake during meditation. Black tea is darker and stronger. This was the fuel of the British
I get so confused with that
India
word.
turned it into chai, which is a mix of
It's
milk,
confusing because
sugar.
in Chinese we say 发酵 for both oxidation and fermentation, and then I'm like, those are such different processes. Can we switch the terminology up?
Spices and tea.
Anyway.
The Indian subcontinent runs on chai. Oolong tea is just the halfway between green and black. Complex, buttery, and floral. It doesn't really commit to either side. White tea is the least processed. Young leaves,
That's what I'm
super
drinking right
light
now.
flavor. The kind of stuff people pretend to like.
But we have
Pu-er
aged
is
white tea.
fermented and aged like cheese and wine. It's earthy. I tried it and it tastes like dirt, but in a premium acquired taste kind of way. Some people swear it cures everything. An herbal tea technically technically isn't
This guy
tea,
is
but
so
tell that to
enlightened.
chamomile, mint, hibiscus, and everyone who drinks them. And there's also mate, which is technically not tea. It comes from the yerba mate plant, originally used
how
by
you
the
pronounce
Guarani people indigenous to this region. Now, where do these teas actually
like
live?
Lipton or
East
Razor.
Asia
So
runs
funny.
green, oolong, white,
Hot
pu'er.
leaf juice
While
reference?
China
Where,
drinks
Karma?
everything, Japan is
Thank you
very
for the super.
intentional. Matcha's trendy now, but
Yours
its
looks way different than the white
ceremonies
tea in
are
the
centuries
picture.
old. Senchas
Not
for daily
really.
life and banchas
Right?
for when you're feeling lazy. Tea here is associated with calmness, but has enough caffeine to power a city. South Asia is black tea territory. India,
I feel like his
Sri Lanka, and
deadpan
Nepal.
delivery
Chai
is
became
so
popular in
fire.
India because the British forced tea sales, and Indians adapted it to their own taste. This is where masala chai was born. Boiled with milk, sugar, ginger, cardamom, cinnamon. If chai disappeared, this entire region would immediately collapse. The Middle East and North Africa turned tea into hospitality.
I really like chai as a concept though, because I like that everybody's chai is different. I was talking to an Indian friend about this recently, and he was joking about how when they have family reunions, people will fight over the right to be the person who makes the chai for the gathering. They're like, no, it has to be my way. And then there's a few instances where people who are particularly particular about their chai, where like if they did not earn the right to be the chai preparer, they will take a separate burner just to make their own chai. Like they refuse to drink the other chai. So funny. Sever's like, Brazil mention. Nepalese black teas are so good. Yeah, I actually have a Nepalese oolong, I think it was. I have it ready for my next tea restock for the jar. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna make a video. I haven't decided if I want to make a short form or long form. I've been watching a lot of videos recently about how like YouTube is getting fully enshittified, and part of the way it's getting enshittified is that like they're pushing quantity over quality, which largely means they're pushing shorts a lot on YouTube. So then I was like, well, if I don't want to be part of the problem, maybe I should make this one long form. So maybe we'll have a long form tea video. I don't care if it doesn't even get 1,000 views. Like I'm just here to have a good time. Some people swear it cures everything. I've avoided so many tea resources in stores because they're pushing some pseudoscience bullcrap. Yeah, the thing is like, you can believe that if you want, you know? But I'm gonna drink tea because I like it, not because I think it's gonna fix me. I mean, I also think it's gonna fix me, but like not in a scientific way. I mean more in like a spiritual way. Not just, hey, antioxidants are good for you, or little bits of health marketing. I don't mind that. There's a limit to what kind of health claims are responsible to make. Okay, so, I mean, something I only recently found out, because we were having discourse about like drinking green tea on an empty stomach on Twitter recently. I had a tweet go like minorly viral over that. I was just trying to warn people like, hey, a lot of people are drinking hot water on an empty stomach in the morning. Haha, you're all Chinese now, insert joke here, right? But like funny jokes aside, please don't drink green tea on an empty stomach. You're not gonna have a good time. Like just a PSA, age-old Chinese wisdom, do not drink green tea on an empty stomach. I even considered making a short about it, and then the tweet took off, and I was like, well, now I feel stupid making a short about it, so I didn't. But maybe I will later, I don't know. But it's just like there's a lot of reasons that's true. I don't know that the jury is honestly, I think, still kind of out on the science side, but like Chinese people have just known for hundreds to thousands of years that if you drink green tea on an empty stomach, actually when you drink most teas on an empty stomach, but green tea especially, you're not gonna have a good time. You're not gonna have a good time. So I guess that's just how it came up. But in the process of like, because like as the tweet started to take off, I got nervous. I was like, oh, I thought like 50 people were going to see this, not 50,000. So then I went to like fact check. I was like, maybe there's good science about this now. I don't know. It's been a while since I like looked at tea research, and came across a paper that said, I didn't know this, but it was a digression from what I was actually looking for. But anyway, I found a paper that was like, tea is proven, like the science was actually very conclusive that it decreases iron uptake. And as somebody who all my life has had incredibly low iron levels, like scraping the boundary of being anemic, I'm not officially anemic, but I sure am like tickling that border, you know? Like every time I like to donate blood, every time I get my blood drawn so they can test my iron levels like off my finger before I, give a whole liter or whatever, I always get like the same expression from the nurse who tests my iron level as they stick it in the machine, and then they go like, oh, I've learned what that means. It means I'm scraping the absolute minimum that they allow for iron levels. So for the longest time, I thought it was just like genetic, or like, you know how a lot of like AFAB people have like an anemia issue because we have to lose a bunch of blood every month. Like I thought it was just being AFAB and stuff like that, like genetic stuff. Motherfucking tea? I saw the paper, I read the abstract. I'm not gonna read the damn paper, sorry, I wasn't in the mood. Sometimes I do read papers, not that day. I just read the abstract and I was like, motherfucking shit. I think I should be allowed to cuss for that. You learned that very early in your tea journey? I did not know. I've been drinking tea since I was like 6? Do I feel cold most of the time? Yes, I'm always cold. And I have really cold, clammy, icy hands and feet. It's not just this paper. There's like, apparently there's many, because once I saw this, I was like, has this been reproduced? So I started looking for more papers. There's a ton of papers, guys. There's like a bunch of, it's like reproduced research proving that tea of all kinds reduces your iron uptake. Oh, the empty stomach thing? Yeah. That one you kind of learned the hard way, I think, because you drink it and you're like, oh, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. I see hands, gang! I see hands, gang! It was the tea that did it with the Sherlock Holmes accent, but Watson reaction. Yes. There are a ton of papers. Yeah, if you literally just Google it, it just like all of them come up and you're like, motherfucker. Yeah, so I don't know why that isn't more common knowledge. But the folk wisdom that I was trying to point out was just that like it's gonna make your tummy hurty in a bad way. So don't drink green tea on an empty stomach. Don't drink any tea on an empty stomach. In general, it's like some combination of like the tannins and the caffeine that's doing it. Green tea has more caffeine, generally speaking, if you're drinking like the loose leaf stuff. I don't know, like the like powdered tea bag. I don't know what's going on with the tea bags. I think in the tea bags, for some reason, they like decaffeinate the green or whatever. In loose leaf teas, green teas and white teas are more caffeinated because they're less processed. But the more oxidized teas tend to have more tannins. So since those are the two factors that make your tummy hurty, generally speaking, like the common knowledge in tea drinking cultures, especially in China, is to never drink tea on an empty stomach, ever. That's why we have cha dian. I actually brought cha dian with me today. I have Taiwanese tea snacks. I have mi jian on me, which is like honey snacks. I have like 3 kinds of olives in here. I'm such a mi jian fiend that when I go buy mi jian, and the owner like finds out I'm Shanghainese or whatever, they always joke about how I'm not actually Shanghainese. They're like, you have a Taiwanese stomach. I was raised by a mother who like really likes Taiwanese things. What can I say? I should start my day with herbal tea then. Yeah, that's what I was saying also. Except the thing is like, since every herbal tea is so different from the other one, like I don't know if it's probably better than having green tea on an empty stomach, but it may depend on what herbal tea you're having. So like for me, when I want to avoid caffeine, I usually reach for chrysanthemum or barley are my go-tos. I also quite like sword bean tea and corn silk tea. I think sword bean is like a Japanese tea, and then corn silk is Korean, I believe. But barley tea is like all of us drink it. All East Asians drink barley tea. But you know, I would have to look into the compounds in any of those herbal teas to know for sure. I don't even know if there's good research on it. Like, we don't really do science on that kind of thing that much. Google, not Gemini, says things with tannic acid and it only affects non-heme. Is that how you pronounce it? Iron absorption. It shouldn't affect heme iron over here. But that still affects iron absorption, right? I don't get an iron deficiency. I like meat and spinach. Well, I guess that's kind of my question is like, I eat a crap ton of spinach, like just a metric, you know, those Costco sized boxes of spinach. I go through those in about, usually on average, less than 3 days. I don't know how. All I know is one day the spinach box is full and the next day the spinach box is empty. And I don't remember what happened to it in between. I just ate it. Like, at some point I ate it and I didn't notice. It wilts to nothing. It wilts to nothing. It goes so fast. You put like half of that box in like a wok and you end up with like a single bowl of spinach. That's nothing. You can eat that. I just eat it like it's rice, like it's noodles, you know, whatever. And so despite the fact that I eat that much spinach, I go through 2 Costco boxes a week, right? Like I eat a lot of spinach. Somehow I'm still iron deficient. well, not deficient, I guess. I'm like borderline too low iron. And so maybe it's like, no matter how much iron you eat, if you're also drinking enough tea to be offsetting your iron uptake, that your body isn't like absorbing the iron that is available in the foods that you eat. Like that's my concern with my tea consumption now. But also the thing is like, I refuse to drink less tea. So we're kind of at like a standstill here. I don't know. There's nothing I can say. I refuse. So if I'm anemic, I'm anemic. Eating liver is good for iron deficiency. Oh. So I should be eating more pate is what you're saying. If it's a vitamin sequencing thing, what does that mean, Lupus? I don't like the taste of barley tea, sadly, and I accidentally bought a bottle of it because I just saw a picture of Miku. Marta, you're so valid. I, too, buy teas that I don't really want to drink because there's an anime character that I love a lot. Actually, does Miku count as an anime character? Whatever, fictional character that I love a lot. Illustrated on the cover. You toughed the tea out, though. I respect that. I sometimes don't tough the tea out. I fully admit to dumping the tea out. Like, actually, I just bought this for the tin. Sorry. Oh, thank you for another super, Karma. Appreciate it. A lot of foods, especially plant sources, have anti-nutrients, which affect your absorption in general. I have heard about that. I didn't know plant sources did that, though, like, especially. I hope this helps someone. My mother has multiple intestinal issues, including IBS and diverticulitis. She mixes a willow and a chamomile herbal tea bag. Oh, willow. I've never tried willow tea in my life. I've never even heard of it. John's like, don't listen to me. I'm not a doctor. I would buy someone's organs if they had Miku on them is a crazy take, Torodoko. I would buy someone's organs. Wait. It's possible. A lot of people have Miku tattoos, and skin is an organ. You're gonna have to put your money where your mouth is, Toronto. Where's your purchased skin graft? I just dropped an olive down my shirt. Where is it? I know I dropped it. Where? Oh, it was on my blanket. It didn't go down my shirt. Oh no, now it's covered in cat hair. I'm not eating that anymore. Check your DMs later. I'm about that life. What did I say earlier about you guys out freakying each other? Where is he? That's okay. I have more. It turned into a kiwi. It's a fuzzy like a kiwi. You're going way too deep. Listen, I'm right. Okay? If you guys present me with an idea, I'm gonna follow it all the way to its logical conclusions. I feel like that's only the correct thing to do when you're an intellectually curious human being. Gonna taste some Sapporo while you're at it. No! Okay. Sorry, let's finish the video. I did like this person's style.
If you show up anywhere, you get tea. If you refuse, you've committed a social felony. Turkey has strong black tea and tulip glasses.
I really like Turkish tea, actually. I didn't expect to like it so much.
Afghanistan offers tea instantly as a sign of peace. Morocco has green tea with mint and enough sugar to kill your dentist. And
so
in
true.
places where alcohol isn't common or banned, tea replaces this social function.
I had so
People
much of that mint tea
socialize,
when I was in
debate,
Morocco.
and
I felt
stay
like I was
up
going
late
to throw
through
up.
tea. My Saudi Arabian neighbor used to invite me over for tea at 10 p.m. and then I wouldn't be able to sleep. Sub-Saharan Africa pushes black tea and herbal infusions. Kenya is the biggest exporter of black tea. Hibiscus is huge too, especially in West Africa. And Russia and Eastern
The information
Europe run on
density of this
strong
video
and
is
hot
actually
black tea,
insane.
often brewed through one of these. They're not just for the vibes, they're an old household
So proud of
staple to
chat
keep
trying to
water
out-freak
hot.
each
Russian
other.
tea culture centers
Says
on
Twitch
long
user
talks.
moldy
Coffee
breast
wakes you
milk.
up, but Russian tea keeps you alive through winter. The English-speaking world is all about black tea with milk. The milk
So
to
buzzed
tea
off of
ratio
tea. Well,
is a
so that's what I was
generational
gonna say
argument,
earlier,
and the British only
is
have
that like part of the reason we have that age-old Chinese wisdom of not drinking tea on an empty stomach, like any kind of tea, especially not green tea, but any kind of tea. Well, there's a Chinese phrase called cha zui, which literally means tea drunk. Zui is just drunk. Cha is tea, right? So cha zui is tea drunk. If you've ever experienced it, like I think it's a very fitting term for the experience, because it tends to only happen when you drink tea on an empty stomach or on like almost empty stomach, like you've only been having snacks like this, you need something more substantial. how can I explain it except that like your head starts spinning and it feels too light. like it really, like the word lightheaded, like very literally. And then there's like a buzzing. Like it feels like my brain is vibrating very fast. And then there's also like an upset stomach component. Not nausea, but a feeling that kind of borders on nausea. Just a discomfort. Tannin salon. I also would need to rewatch this video a few times. It's so dense. And I'm playing this at normal speed too. Chinese language has a phrase for everything. It's kind of like German, isn't it? I've always appreciated German for that trait. What was in that tea? It was spiked with caffeine. I think what people don't realize is that like, especially loose leaf teas have a lot more caffeine in them than you might expect. And then because the way our bodies do caffeine uptake is like kind of wacky, like it depends on its sort of delivery vehicle, right? So coffee that has the same amount of caffeine as like tea that has the same amount of caffeine is going to hit kind of different. So, and I think a lot of us are kind of more used to the caffeine from coffee. You know, you win some, you lose some. Like I can drink black coffee on an empty stomach. I cannot drink green tea on an empty stomach. That's not a thing. They have about the same levels of caffeine, especially because I like medium to light roast coffee. But somehow the green tea just makes me want to hurl, and the coffee is like, yeah, that's fine. Like food coma. Nah, I think food coma makes you feel really heavy. Tea drunk is like, I am hovering above the plane of mortal existence, and yet not quite ascending into the celestial realm. I exist in the liminal space in between. My brain is vibrating at the resonance frequency of the air around me. And my body, though corporeal, is only my anchor to the known universe. That's what tea drunk feels like. Like, I'm ascending. My soul is on vacation. Like, more like my soul is indecisive about whether or not it should go on vacation. That's not tea, that's edibles. That's what I'm saying. Like, tea is some serious, it's hard substances, man. Leaf juice does what leaf rolls do? I think they have some amount of overlap, yeah. I mean, the leaf rolls, like the leaf that goes in leaf rolls often also gets used as leaf juice. Like there are cultures that do that, I think for good reason. I want to get tea drunk now, that sounds fun. I gotta say, it's a very uncomfortable feeling. Like it is very uncomfortable. It's fun for maybe 2 seconds, and then you're like, I need a sandwich now. That tea is extra fermented. Yeah, it's like a kombucha at that point. Goes to philosophical session. Yeah, I mean, every time I've gotten tea drunk, I've been like, man, maybe this is why all those like Chinese philosophers were all nuts. It's just all leaves. Yeah. Let's have tea party and get tea drunk and watch tea videos. Yeah. He has weed tea. No, it's all tea. All loose leaf teas will do this to you. I think the only exceptions are maybe like shupu. So like black, when Chinese people say, when Chinese people say black tea, we mean like hei cha, not, oh my God, it's so hard every time this comes up. In English, when we say black tea, that tea in Chinese is referred to as red tea because of the color it makes when you steep it. In Chinese, when you say black tea, it's hei cha, which is like a ultra oxidized fermented moldy ass tea. It tastes like dirt. Positive? Or as this video creator was saying, in that nice kind of acquired taste kind of way. So that's hei cha. And because it's so extremely processed, it doesn't really have all of those compounds that give you an upset stomach. So I usually will drink pu'ers, which like are approaching that end of the hei cha end of the spectrum. I will usually have those in the evening. Goes to show you the English language is confusing. I think all languages have their points where it's like, damn, that's confusing. Pu'er, I think, really depends on what kind of pu'er you're drinking. Like, shrimp pu is basically, it tastes the same as white tea to me, which I don't know if people would kill me for saying that, but I think I'm right. Because the processing amount and style is very similar. And then shu pu is like... I don't know, it just tastes like dirt. If I like it, then it's dirt positive. If I don't like it, then it's dirt negative. And I don't like every pu'er I have, so... Nah. Oh. I think I heard Sapporo meow. Sapporo? You know the consequences of bothering me during stream is we have to pay the cat tax. I thought you knew that. Oh. She walked right past me. I think she just wanted to drink water. Parmigiano Reggiano of tea. You know, you're not entirely off. You thought it was an ambulance? You heard Sapporo meow? I'm impressed. Black tea is red tea in Korean, so it messes me up. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same in Japanese too, right? Like kolcha. Isn't kol... Wait. Am I going crazy? Kolcha is red tea, right? Anyone with better Japanese skills can correct me. I don't want to Google it right now.
Milk in the first place because their cups crack from the heat. Some parts of South America run on keeps you alive through winter. The English-speaking world is...
Oh, here comes Sapporo. Hold on, let me see if I can snatch her. Oh, that's the wrong. I want you guys to be able to see her in full glory. Sapporo, you have to pay the tax. I know you're very nicely asking to be let out. Oh no. She's running away from me, guys. What do I do? She's acting pathetic and lying on her side. It's not gonna work, buddy. You need to get up. She's screaming. She's so mad. She's so mad. Tax evasion is hilarious. Okay, 1 second. I'll let you out. Tax evasion. I'm gonna be calling it that from now on. That's so funny. Her eyebrows were straight up. Yeah, she was so angry. Well, Sapporo also kind of has a resting bitch face, so... Anyways, as I was saying... Mr. Chen, thank you. Kolcha. Yeah, okay. I vaguely remember the kanji being for red tea, so I'm glad I didn't misremember that. Thank you for validating, Mr. Chen. Ow! Exactly. Oh, she's so funny. I'm always like, if you didn't make yourself so bullyable, then I wouldn't bully you so much. Put me down, father. I shan't pay thine taxes.
About black tea with milk. The milk to tea ratio is a generational argument, and the British only added milk in the first place because their cups cracked from the heat. Some parts of South America run on mate. It's not actually
Is that
tea,
real? Their
same
cups
idea.
crack from the
You
heat?
pour hot water into a gourd with the leaves, use a metal straw as a filter, and share it with everyone. Super caffeinated,
I have
super
seen those
social,
mate,
and there's a lot of debate whether it's a crime to use
straws.
sugar. Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, the south of
Is
Brazil.
that what people
Wild
say to
fact,
Chi-Chi? About
Syria
what?
also drinks a ton of mate because of 18th and 19th century Syrian immigrants that started drinking mate in Argentina and brought it back with them when they returned home. Now Syria imports more mate than any country in the world. Paraguay drinks tereré, which is cold mate, sometimes infused with juice. And as an Argentinian who drinks in a really hot place, I personally love tereré. And quick side note, mate originally comes from the Guarani people. Later it spread across the region and became the drink of the masses,
Tereré?
while coffee was seen as more of a European upper class thing.
I've never
so mate
heard of
stayed as this
tereré.
everyday social kind of drink and later gained more popularity popularity as a symbol of pride. Tea preparation around the world.
Huh.
Moroccan mint tea gets poured from ridiculous heights. It originally came from trade routes mixing Chinese tea with local mint. Turkish chai comes in layers you dilute to taste. British tea is black tea with milk and enough.
No, that's absurd. Wait, by no, that's absurd, did you mean the cups cracking thing? They show off fine china by pouring really hot water. Oh, because she's easily bullied. You mean, oh, Chi-Chi getting easily bullied. Is she? I feel like Chi-Chi is a poor bully target because she doesn't give you a reaction. I've cracked several cups with hot water, sadly. They were not built for the power of tea. Oh, no. Oh, Momogu, hello. Welcome from work. I'm like thinking about my fancy china. You guys know I collect. I've never once had an issue with anything cracking. Like, I thought they were built for hot beverages. I thought that was the whole point. The hell? Wait, yeah, what the hell's Coke milk? Hold on. Wait, what did I pause this on? What is this heinous atrocity?
Comes
what?
In layers you dilute to taste. British tea is black tea with milk and enough rules to qualify as...
Oh, it says didn't have more pictures of British tea, but here's Coke milk. He's like, I ran out of images. Oh my god, Automod censors the word pilk? That's so funny. I just had to permit the word pilk twice on Twitch, guys. Oh, Kyotograph, thank you for the stretch redeem. That's a good reminder, actually. I've been kind of shrimping in my seat. That's a crazy thing to censor. I think it might have come from like several years ago when Pilk was like a trending meme in the VTuber space. I was VTubing more back then too. And then we might have added it to the mod list because I was just like, I'm not talking about this anymore. I could believe it if that was the story. All of this discourse about which cat to best bully is going on the Ying smear campaign when you run for office. What do you mean when I run for office? I never want to do that again. It was so stressful. People make up so much bullshit about you. Oh my god. Ugh, I forgot you VTubed. Yeah, I actually have a V2 and a V3 model in the progress at the same time right now, which is crazy. Listen, a lot of things happened. Was it the school? What? How did you know, Cheese Pants? It was the school board. I think of all the local elections, the ones that get the messiest tend to be the school board. And at first I was like, that's insane. Like, why? It's just the goddamn school board. And then people were like, it's just the school board? Like, do you understand how much rides on the school board? And I was like, okay, fair. Because people see it as like the future of our, civilization is in the schools. So naturally, I think people get a little more sensitive about it. So, I've mentioned school board before. That's true. Yep. Think about the children. Yeah, precisely. VTube model 2, 3 from the same mama or new ones. 2 is from a different mama and papa. 3 is from same mama, different papa. It makes sense. If you tune into any of the recorded or public school meetings, people are unhinged. They're so unhinged. I have recordings of myself being low-key unhinged at the school board meeting. Listen, I was mad. I was really, really mad, okay? You don't get involved in local politics without getting really, really mad about something. Dialogue straight out of Riverdale. School! Do you understand? I've actually never watched Riverdale. Yeah, I actually still think the most unhinged meetings I've seen weren't even school board. They were city council, actually. Which I also understand. So, and I get it. The thing is, even though people are really unhinged and saying like crazy stuff at these meetings, I still respect the people who show up to say crazy shit. I respect them more than the people who don't show up at all. Like, I think it's cool, even though we completely disagree on the thing that we're here to get mad about, I respect that they are civically engaged. Like, you may be probably insane, but at least you value participatory democracy. Unlike many people. Did you guys see the tweet going around that was like, if only like Asian Americans showed up at protests like they do at raves? lot of really offended people in the replies, but I was like, if you were one of the Asian Americans that, you know, was showing up at protests the way some of us show up at raves, you wouldn't be the person being butthurt in the replies. I'm just saying. Nyx is like, we go to raves? Yeah. Unfortunately. Or other, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with going to raves, you know, but like, you know, also maybe also show up to the other things and not just the raves. Having the capacity to participate in dialogue in an environment where you have to listen is commendable. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's complicated, but I think what matters is that you show up. That was another tweet that was going, I'm chronically online, as you can tell, but there was another tweet going around that was like, the world is run, for better or for worse, by the people who show up. Even if they're completely inadequate, bad at their jobs. If they showed up, they get to run whatever it is they showed up for, so. I just realized, is that milk and Diet Coke? Brian comes in and like sees the most cursed freeze frame that we're paused on while we talk about participatory democracy. How did we get on this topic, guys? Okay,
Masala
go
chai
back.
gets boiled until all the flavors merge. Matcha gets whisked into a foam that looks peaceful until it destroys your heart rate. Korea has roasted barley tea, which is literally the default water.
Did you hear about the person who had a medical issue because they drank too much matcha?
And shared again for hours on end. Tea is low-key the original wine. It changes taste based on where it was grown,
true.
how
I
it
have
was
that book.
processed, and who picked it. And it's been customized by each culture
book.
to fit their needs. Whether
Diet
it's
Coke is
ritual,
gross.
hospitality,
I don't like
or just
diet anything, to be
caffeine-based
honest. I
survival,
think fake
it all
sugar
comes
tastes
from
gross.
the same plant. Go to the nearest grocery store that sells international products. Find a
The tea to
cool-looking bag of
pilk
tea.
to
and
politics
next time you have guests
pipeline.
over or want to add a nice little moment to your day, make some tea.
Yes. I thought matcha was supposed to be healthy. I mean,
Tea is
how can you frame it except that a lot of things that are supposed to be healthy are only healthy in moderation? And also healthy is kind of a subjective concept. Like whether or not something is healthy to you kind of depends on your own personal health. Like some people are super allergic to caffeine, so tea would be very unhealthy for them, for example. No, not Saturn getting censored by Pilk too. Oh no, what did they say? I've never had Pilk. I kind of want to try it now for the experience. Wouldn't it curdle? That's kind of my question. Like, shouldn't Pilk form curds immediately? I don't know. There are limits. Exactly. Everything in moderation. Golden ratio by Aristotle. Everything can mess you up, TBH. Carrots turn you orangey if you eat too many. Yeah! I forgot about that. Taste is a poison detection system. Well, if you're allergic to caffeine, would you be able to taste your allergy, though? Probably not. A lot of great marketing using the word healthy. Yes! Quote unquote, like superfoods. I hate that word. I hate that word so much. Period of time, everybody was calling everything superfoods. Hold on. I want to see, does this person, like, what kind of videos does this person make? That was so good. Oh, wow. Oh! Wait, I kind of enjoy the eclecticness of this channel. Like, it's really all over the place. And then it seems like there was kind of a hard pivot right around here. Like a year ago? Or it was like 3 years ago and then 1 year ago. I kind of like that. I kind of went through the same thing. I don't think it's as obvious on my channel, actually. Huh. Okay. I'm down. I'll be back. I'll just add whether to subscribe later, but I just thought that was a really well made video.
tea is the
Okay. I need to watch this one like 3 more times too. It was so dense. Someone might have bought the channel. But the old thumbnails still look like the same person. It looks like the content just kind of pivoted. Something happened a year ago. Maybe it's like me. Maybe we all suddenly became unemployed. Putting anything in milk is scary. It curdles if your vibes aren't good when you approach it. It's so true, Marta. There was, what was I trying to make? It was like some cocktail. It wasn't a cocktail. I think I mixed mango juice and milk. I don't know why I did that. I honestly, like, even if you asked me, I could not tell you. But at some point I did it. And I remember the milk curdling, like, more visibly than I've ever seen milk curdle. It was like, honestly, it had a good texture. Like, I enjoyed it. But it looked really disgusting. But it tasted great. You just have to swirl it so the curdles, like, suspend in the fluid. Avocado milkshakes are so good. I love an avocado smoothie. In general, our ability to taste bitterness helps us avoid poison, but then it turns out some people acquire a taste for non-harmful bitter things. Yeah, exactly, Lagio Drift. I have that thought every time. I was like about to say a sentence and then my brain went in a whole other direction. So I'm not going to finish the sentence. The direction my brain went in is, recently I had a cheese from my fridge that I thought, it's like a cheese that I buy really often. So I just assumed it was fresh. Opened it up. It looks fine. Passed the sniff test. Everything fine. Put it on a cracker. Ate it. It was bitter. And I was like, that's not normal. And then just because I, didn't quite register that it was bitter, I took another scoop and I ate another bite, and it was still bitter. And then by the third bite, I was like, maybe this cheese isn't supposed to be bitter. And then I don't know what was wrong with me. I just put the cheese back. Like, I didn't think, oh, I should check it right now and throw it away. And then it wasn't until a week later where I was craving that cheese again. And I went to open the drawer that I keep all my cheeses in. I picked the box up and I was like, wasn't this cheese bitter the last time I ate it? I looked on the back. It expired 3 years ago. Which makes it actually kind of crazy that it looked and smelled normal. Like, it's a soft cheese. It shouldn't last 3 years. But you know what? I didn't die. So listen, I was watching Ascendance of a Bookworm and I was really focused, okay? It was like really, the final few episodes of season 2 are like really immersive. Like, it really pulls you in. And I wasn't really thinking about anything other than how much I was enjoying the anime, okay? I was just like, cheese is cheese and I'm eating it. Like, I was just mindlessly putting food in my mouth. I was enjoying the anime and I almost poisoned myself to death. So I might have accidentally cultured an entire cheese worth of edible mold. Vive Astral, welcome. Good to see you. She had bad stomach from the bitter cheese. So here's the thing. I always have bad stomach. So I don't know if that day that cheese caused it or something else did. Like, I have no idea. I never have good poops. It's not in my stars. On the rare occasion I do have a good poop, it's like a miracle. Like, it happens like once a month and I'm like, wow. And then it doesn't happen again for a month. With Ascendance, I would too. I know. I mean, it really, like, everybody was really hyping up Ascendance of a Bookworm, so I was expecting a lot from it. But even so, I was like, because the first season is like, I think the pacing is a little slow, but I understand why they had to do it that way because they're doing a more realistic take, unlike most isekai. So I feel like because the pace was slower in season 1, that season 2's payoff could be like the way they escalated off a cliff could be, it just hit so much harder. It's a good fucking anime. But it makes me really sad that, like, a show like that, you could tell it was like running on a shoestring budget. Like, they were really making the most of what they had, but they did not have much. But wow, great anime. I've actually been thinking about making it like I've watched so many isekai now that I've become kind of a connoisseur. I'm like, I think we should do an isekai tier list. Like, let's all discuss and then we can like mutually agree. Like, it's not just my personal tier list, but like what do we collectively as a community if we were to rank all of these isekai? What are we talking about? I don't know how we got on this topic. Ascendance of a Bookworm. Oh, because I was eating the poisonous cheese while watching it. What the hell is a good poop? Are you familiar with the Bristol chart? Hold on. Bristol poop scale. Here you go. Here's the Bristol stool chart. Right? Oh my god, why is this a Walmart product? I just clicked a random image. I didn't realize it was gonna take me to Walmart.com. That's so cursed. What about this? I don't want to be on Walmart.com. That's fucked up. Here. Oh, yeah, Wikipedia is way better. Oceanic immediately like, OMG, tag yourself. I'm all of them. This is really good home decor, yeah. Why don't you frame this and put it in your bathroom? God, we're talking about tea to talking about the Bristol stool chart. Oh, you know, this is a typical Ying stream. Anyway, what is a good poop, you ask? Type 3 to 4. So I actually didn't know about this chart until like fairly recently, like within about a year ago, I would say, because I had a friend describe, they were like, oh, I had a really good poop today, and I was like, oh yeah, and they were like, yeah, it was like a Bristol stool chart type 4, and I was like, what the I googled it on the spot, and then I was like, oh my god, there's a classification system. So yeah, that's how I'm only a year in the know on this too. Unironically, I'd paint it. You would paint the stool chart. You know what? That's kind of enlightened. I can kind of see where you're going with that. I feel like the severe diarrhea would be very challenging to paint. Type 1 sucks, by the way. Type 1 really sucks. This is a horrible time to eat. Sorry, Hina. We learn something new every day, truly. Flies, like my stream buffered right when you say what's a good poop, you ask? Okay, anyway. Where the hell were we? Oh, I really wanted to watch this one. It seemed like a really like artsy one about a puer person in Paris. So I was like, let's get artsy with it. Have you watched Lord of Mysteries? Not yet. It's on my list. One of my friends is really, really, really into it. This is an educational Twitch. Liz, I should rebrand as an educational streamer. I'm gonna show the chart to all of my family and ask which type they are and give them advice accordingly. Okay, so here's the thing about like why I like the Bristol stool chart is that like I literally have a different type every day. So, for example, if you were to ask me, like, where are you on this chart? I actually would be like, today I'm a 2. Fly never learned what a good poop is in the end. Well, we did, didn't we? We had the chart open. If it's watercolor, the diarrhea is pretty easy. You literally just do a little puddle of milk consistency paint, let partially dry, add highlight, let dry, add shadow. Variety is the spice of life. What do you mean, wait, no? Yeah, Mr. Chan, exactly. You got it. 3 and 4. Where is this tea salon in Paris? I need to save it. I don't think it says. Oh!
Mais ce qui est marrant, c'est qu'après le marché, ça sent vraiment beaucoup de pigeons. Ça se sent le pigeon. Ça sent fort.
The House of the 3 T's. Let me save it. Next time I'm in Paris.
Ça se reconnaît parce que ça se comprend.
Frog in a teapot's like, let me check out a stream while I eat dinner. Never mind.
C'est pas le même odeur.
It's okay. It's okay. We're not talking about poop. It's tea now. It's tea now, guys. Trust. This is so beautifully filmed. It's like, ew, Paris. That one time I dragged Liz into Paris just to come meet up with me. You had to come in from so far. Thank you for making the trip. It was very fun meeting up. Random scorpion tattoo. Oh, you know, when in Paris. From poo poo to wee wee. I hate it, Paris. Frog, you're right. We are learning. Paris is less you with Ying in it. Ah, thanks. I came around on Paris. The first time I was in Paris, I was like, this ain't shit. I understand Paris syndrome now. And then my second time I was in Paris, I was like, oh, it's not bad. And then my third time I was in Paris, I was like, actually, there's a lot of good food here. So I fully came around. I'm a Paris liker now, could you believe it? It's also really convenient. It's such a good entry point. Like, Charles de Gaulle kind of sucks, but it's a pretty good entry point into Europe. Oh my god, this tea shop is gorgeous. This is goals. How much money would it cost me to furnish my own tea shop to look something like this? Look at all that calligraphy, holy crap. Where does Paris fall on the Bristol stool chart? A 5. Paris is an acquired taste, 100%. 100%. Only 5K karma, really? You think? All that, like, antique hardwood? Bro, who shot this? It's so pretty. $500 on Temu. No, you want the good stuff. I feel like the cheap stuff shows in furnishing. This building must cost so many millions of euros. Yeah. Oh, wow. She's like descended from fancy people. Maybe they have money. Well, with the Cultural Revolution being what it is, I think a lot of... Well, it depends on when you left China, actually. Some families did manage to retain their wealth. They have a lot of money. That might be it. That might be how she has a tea shop that looks like that. It's really hard to make money on tea. It's like not an industry where that's a thing. Most people are lucky if they break even. That's why I briefly thought about going to tea sourcing myself because I was doing so many trips to China to like source my own teas. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, unless I'm willing to start a non-profit, I just don't think it's feasible. Tianren all closed around you. Wait, that's so sad. I love Tianren. Seeing how she sniffs the tea, I can 100% imagine her sniffing everything outside as a kid. Yeah, she really like savors it. Why are all the cool things impossible to break into or make? Yeah. Another thing in that realm I've been thinking about is like coffee houses, like a coffee shop. Those also are really hard to make money. But it's like such a good, important third space to have.
Essayer de trouver des descendants de ces anciens ateliers qui fabriquaient les poules. Quasiment, ils sont
what is that? Bells?
Disparus
bells on
au
a
moment de révolution.
Oh, what was I saying about the Cultural Revolution? Yeah, there's actually a lot of Chinese immigrants who left China before the Cultural Revolution have become our preservers of Chinese culture. Because so much of it was lost during the Cultural Revolution.
Parce que ça vieillit, parce que ça prend la valeur, donc investissement, etc.
Like when my mom goes to Taiwan, she can spend hours to days just like in all their museums because a lot of the cultural artifacts are preserved there. The Taiwanese took it with them when they left, you know? Wow, look at all those chopping. That one shelf is probably worth like $1 million. Okay, that's dramatic. But like several hundred thousand. What's the Cultural Revolution and why? That's gonna be a whole other Learn Yang stream, Hatamisu. It's recent enough in our history that many of my generation's parents lived through it. So my dad and mom were both on the tail end.
chez les antiquaires de façon.
Brick is about $200. It depends on the brick. Some of them, especially if they're super aged, can go for a lot more than 200.
Un conteneur rempli des meubles, et ben ils servaient.
A question worth hundreds of PhD theses. Exactly.
Rempli,
exactly.
Coffee
places near me charge about $7 for a cup of coffee.
Sous les meubles.
Precisely, Brian. I agree.
Donc comme ça pour rentabiliser.
A lot of my favorite coffee shops in the area have actually already closed or changed owners like 4 or 5 times. It makes me really sad.
Et donc
actually.
en fait, ils ont rentré les poors, c'était pour les Chinois qui venaient avec Chiang Kai-shek de l'époque. Voilà, qui sont pour les Taïwanais qui disaient ça, de gens de extérieurs quoi. Parce que ce sont pas des Taïwanais qui vivent à Taïwan. À l'époque,
I love the sound of people using a tea knife to like cut shards off of a tabi.
Parce que bon,
Like, that's ASMR to me.
Un thé qui a un goût pourriture.
Tea smuggling! Exactly.
Et c'est là,
Marta's like, I'm so amazed at how Ying in their chat finds every opportunity to discuss politics. I'm in the right place. It's because everything is political, you can't avoid it.
parce que, en fait, c'est.
She's 100% French. I didn't know that stereotype that you guys always end with. How do you even pronounce that? Quoi?
C'est vraiment. C'est pas sur son goût, pas sur son
Oh
parfum.
my god, look at all those chopping.
C'est au-dessus de là.
That's
Ça
crazy.
représente une histoire, voilà, une longue histoire. Et c'était vraiment impressionnant.
Why does this video only have 20k views? It's so
La vie
stunning.
de Paul, c'est vraiment quand même humain. En fait. Bah, ça, c'est un thé de l'année 80.
Quoi?
Il a 40 ans, quoi.
It's pronounced how it's spelled. Oh, like koi?
35 ans, on a pas mal de choses à raconter déjà. Là,
When you're in
aujourd'hui,
HK on a package trip, they tried to sell puer to us.
70 ans, 80 ans, 100 ans. Respect.
Cantonese people drink a lot of puer.
C'est quelqu'un, enfin, c'est quelqu'un qui vous raconte plein de ses passés, chaque pas, chaque décor, chaque
20k
chaque
views is a
jour
little
qu'il a
sad.
rencontré.
Yeah.
C'est
There's that clip of Ryan Higa explaining why he gave up on YouTube. And his main point is that
si on est sincère avec
YouTube's
un peu,
algorithm
je pense
started
qu'on
to
doit
favor
apprendre plein de choses.
quantity over
C'est un
quality.
thé qui voit que vous êtes nerveux.
And I think this kind of a video
êtes
demonstrates that
profond,
problem.
calme.
There's like infinite
Toutes les
videos like this on
histoires,
YouTube
Tout ce qu'il a vécu,
that are
on
like
peut le voir.
just absolute works of art and like I think interesting to a lot of people. Like it's not because it's a mega niche topic or anything like that necessarily that's like decreasing its views. It's that YouTube itself is promoting. I mean, when you go on YouTube, like any of us can just go on YouTube right now on our home screen and like it's like what 2 or 3 rows of shorts first before they show you any long form.
Voilà. Avec les notes minéraux qui évoquent des galets
The way they color graded this
en
is
bord de
so.
rivière.
It's that like
Ça,
teal
souvenirs d'enfance.
orange palette.
On était petits.
One of my favorite color
joue,
palettes.
dans
I love
la
bisexual
rivière.
lighting and I love the
On mouillait
orange
des
and blue.
galets, en été. La mousse.
YouTube just feels hopeless to
boulot.
start if you care about numbers
Des
unless
robots.
people just AI generate.
Pas
Yeah, so that's the
trop-
thing is
pas
that
trop
like
de
if you
rivière.
want to make it on YouTube nowadays, you actually have to post a short every day. Like if there's one formula to make
Après
it,
la pluie,
short every day.
l'orage d'été.
that's it. There's one formula. And even then, that's like making
c'est
it from a
très,
number sense, like you're gonna get views, I guess. Are you gonna make money from it? No. Because shorts don't make money.
Ça
Inshitification,
commence à
guys.
évoquer,
Mika, hello!
un peu de parfum.
Welcome,
comme,
Raiders. Good to
maisons
have
de
you.
combien?
And nice to meet you, Mika. What are you up to?
dans
Here,
la
shall I
nappe.
shall I pause our French poor lady?
Hein?
Hold on, I want to pause on the
Maison de
previous screen because it's so beautifully composed. Mika Magica. Did I spell it wrong? Shout out Mika Magica. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, there you go. Oh, you were drawing art. What were you illustrating? Welcome. Good to have you all. Nice to meet you. The way YouTube app takes you directly to shorts when you open it. Yeah, I know. It's really. I'm gonna hold myself back here. Like I have so many thoughts. You guys have heard me say most of them already, so I won't repeat myself. It's bullshit. We'll leave it there. How was your stream, Mika? Thank you for the raid. It's good to have you all. My name's Ying. I'm a variety streamer and once in a while VTuber. I might be VTubing more this year if my V2 and V3 models get done on time. Yes, I do have both in progress at the same time. A lot of things happened. I will not be explaining further. Let's just say that I thought V2 was a lost cause. So I commissioned a V3, and then the V2 commissioners came back to me and they were like, oh, actually, we think we're gonna finish this like soon. And I was like, oh God. But anyway, literally have to use YouTube in my browser to avoid ads. Yeah, I've been trying to avoid watching YouTube on my phone because there's like so many things about the experience that are, I think, unhealthy in a lot of different ways. Like for me and also for the ecosystem that we are all part of. Stream was good. I hope yours is going well. The vibes feel cozy tonight. They are in fact cozy. Well, I say that the vibes are cozy because we're watching these like nice tea videos, but I will openly admit to the fact that we have now discussed the Bristol stool chart, the Chinese Cultural Revolution, local politics, and school board and city council shenanigans. And getting tea drunk being kind of like getting high on weed. I don't watch that much YouTube anymore. I'm the same way. I think the only YouTube videos I watch now are actually like the really long form slow TV types. Like someone stuck a camera to the front of like a train and they're like, here's like this train that goes through Wales, or like here's a campfire that I set up next to the lake, and it's just like a 4-hour long video of the campfire burning down. Like I only watch stuff like that now. I put it on like the TV in the living room and then I like live my life. It's the only YouTube stuff that I watch now. Oh, Liz, thank you for dropping the video. Is this the one that we're watching right now? Oh, I should have been doing that. I apologize. Thank you for doing that, Liz. Are you gonna try and run again? Well, so that's why it came up, is because I was like, I joke that, well, I mean it when I say that like becoming a streamer has made me unelectable. And then we were talking about it because I had a friend bring up the counterpoint that like now that I'm a streamer and everything's just kind of out there, I like kind of don't have anything more to lose. Like they couldn't possibly call me on anything that I wasn't like barefaced open about. There's nothing to hide at that point, and so I can just like run however I want to. Like there's a total freedom in the fact that I'm a streamer and therefore I can do whatever I want. But I think it's still tricky because it would require kind of a total doxing. You have to file like addresses and stuff and completely public information. So I don't know. I don't know if it's feasible. I guess we'll see. Yeah. I used to have ad block for YouTube from Vivaldi. Oh, use an auto. What's an auto ad skipper? On the app, I literally can't scroll without half my screen being AI generated ads. Oh my God, that bad? Really? I guess at least I don't have, it's not that far gone for me yet. I do have a very curated like timeline. Like if I go to my home screen right now, well, let me see. Let's see what it gives me right now, right? Oh, sorry. I should say, Mika, if you need to go rest, please do. Hope you had a good stream. It's been showing me a lot of tea stuff, cat stuff. A lot of YouTube is dead kind of stuff, like doomer, like AI and YouTube is dying kind of things. Like, oh, Buttigieg, I guess, has a video. I don't follow him, so they must be guessing that my politics interests are a thing. Coffee stuff. This is pretty funny. I might watch that later. I usually, before, like up until very recently, I mostly only watched cooking videos, so I tend to get a lot of these kind of things. Oh, here you go. What I was saying about like forest campfires. I love these. You just put them on for like 3 hours. Yeah. It's like a pretty well curated homepage, I gotta say. Like these are all really solid. I miss her so much. Has she ever come back? Oh, no. She really said, screw this, I'm out. I respect it so much. Oh my God. All right. Anyway, Korean camping ASMR videos. Oh, I love those. Rirang on Air is my favorite, but I also really like Plan D. Oh my God. You all sound like you have worse streams than I do. Mine is pretty uncursed. Yeah. My homepage is, I think, pretty normal. Like it's pretty pleasant, actually. I just try not to look on mobile. I find that tends to be where I get a little lost. Yeah. Your homepage is crazy similar to mine. What do we always say here, YYs? Birds of a feather flock together. I don't know why I had to think about that. It took me a beat. Found a cool video of a random Slovak guy making hash browns from raw potatoes over camp. That sounds like a banger video. I do miss Best Dressed. She was so good. She was a rare, genuinely fantastic corner of YouTube. But I also think she quit at exactly the right time. Like quitting in 2020 and before, that was the play. If you were going to get out, that was the time to get out. Dang, some birds getting left behind. I'm gonna get ready for bed. Gotta be up at 3 a.m. Oh my god, good night, Death Rock. Sorry, I missed that until now. Okay, shall we continue?
Grand-mère, dans la malle, avec les vieilles vêtements, avec les gants,
If you guys have a link to that hash browns guy,
des vieux bouquins,
I would love to see it.
cire d'abeille. Ah, ça y est, là, il revient. En fait, avec un peu de décalage, alors on commence à sentir ces notes de jeunesse quand il avait juste 10
Oh, the glitch, I was saying the
ans,
exact same thing. I think the
ces
color
notes
grading is
végétales,
insane. The like
la
orange blue
pêche,
palette they're going for.
pas tout à fait très mûr.
I feel like
Le
pulling a
goût
palette
dessus
like
sur le
that
noyau,
off is...
Vraiment un goût sucré de prairie.
It's tricky to strike a
Ouais,
balance
un
that
goût
doesn't
comme ça,
feel
dans
too
l'air, qui est
heavy-handed.
vraiment très légère mais transparent. Ça commence à donner pas de goût après, mais avec beaucoup de goût.
What dialect is she
C'est
speaking? It's
vraiment,
French.
c'est
She's
ça.
speaking French.
C'est un goût sans
She's
goût.
in Paris.
Ça c'est magique parce que quand on boit un thé qui est vieilli et qu'on avance dans la dégustation, petit à petit,
Oh, I'm dumb. No,
on
you're
montre
good.
le
Sarah.
chemin à l'arrière.
I think it's a totally fair question if you
Voilà,
like
ça
not if you're not
remonte,
familiar
ça
with
remonte,
French. Why would you
petit
know
à
that
petit.
that's
Là,
French,
je suis à la
right?
5e infusion.
At the volume too low. Oh, that's fair. I have the volume kind of low.
On
That's my
sent
bad
de
as well.
plus en plus de cette
turn it
présence.
up a
C'est
little.
pas parce qu'on fait plus infusion et qu'il se
I could never
diminue.
color
Au
grade like this.
contraire.
Holy shit. I know.
La
I
source.
feel similarly.
Voilà.
I think like color grading is such an art form.
Ce thé-là, par
it's so
exemple, en ce moment,
delicate.
ça me fait
Like
un léger
one
chaleur
tiny
très
little color
agréable
value
de
off
la
and
main.
you're like too heavy-handed with
Puis
it and it
après,
looks like
ça
cheesy.
commence à faire bouger toute l'énergie sur le
English
méridien.
is
parce qu'on
30%
dit,
French, so
le médecin
it's
chinois,
fair actually.
Mingmen. Et ça commence à faire
Mingmen.
le mouvement circulaire,
I've never heard of that.
rotation.
That's cool.
C'était incroyable. C'est puissant ce poids. Mais puissant pas dans la force, puissant dans l'énergie.
I also think it's really hard to get close-up shots like this that don't feel like awkward, I guess.
C'est génial, c'est un thé qui évoque vraiment la nature, quoi. Le plus proche, le plus profond de la nature.
Well, that's kind of gross.
Un théier qui mesure 3 mètres, c'est quasiment 3 mètres de
Okay,
racine en dessous.
I can accept it.
Donc, ça capte.
French
l'énergie
sounds so
de-
ASMR-ish.
de la
Oh,
planète.
you like the sounds of
C'est-
French,
c'est
Martha.
tout à fait logique.
I think I'm neutral on it.
Voilà. Et c'est pourquoi, depuis longtemps, le poil, c'est beaucoup
Like, if
pris
there's a
par
language
les
I
moines
think is
des
most pleasant to the
taoïstes
ear, I
pour la
actually think
méditation.
English.
C'est pas pour
I
moi.
actually really like the phonetics of English.
Ouais.
Like, I know it's a
Parce que là, je
Germanic
sens
language and
légère,
therefore has some like
je sens que ça commence à
roughness
monter
about
sur la
it, but
tête,
I
mais
think it's a
de
very
façon
musical,
vraiment-
balanced,
je suis
phonetically
gay.
balanced
Je
language.
suis très
actually.
contente.
Parisian French sounds stuffy too. It's like Londoners speaking
C'est ça qui est
English.
beau, le thé. J'ai jamais fixé.
That posh British accent. Random bug appearance in a tea video. Yeah, I was confused
Je
about
pense
that
que je
too.
serais très heureuse
Hi Julia, thanks for the follow.
si je
Also,
suis
welcome
tout
to
seul
chat.
avec le thé. Ah, tout seul.
Yeah, this woman
Que
gets
je
it.
puisse vraiment
One of my favorite things about
sentir
when you meet people who
on
are
est-
like
on est
super into
unis.
tea, like they're super dedicated to it as a like a spiritual practice and a cultural practice and a social practice. Once in a while you meet people like this, or at least I do because my mom's so immersed in the culture also. Their wardrobes are actually extremely tailored to tea drinking. It's very much about like simple textures, natural fibers, minimal patterning, and like clean silhouettes. You want almost like a Taoist approach to your wardrobe when you are dressing for tea. And I think you can see it reflected in what she's wearing also. It has a really like tasteful simplicity to it. I've always really enjoyed it. Almost monk-like. Quebec French has much more open vowels and more relaxed open rhythm. Parisian French is a lot more clipped. Oh, I cannot tell, yeah. I was so confused, but also amused that somehow understood. Wait, Severus, you could understand what she was saying? What? Really? How? Black Sea Adventurer. Oh, is this the potato person? Hold on, let me see. Oh! This is my exact type of content. Oh, I love camping videos. I love camping cooking videos. They're my favorite. That's why I like the Korean camping girlies so much, because they cook and they eat so much food. I want to find their hash browns. Hold on, first I need to subscribe. I can't believe I've never seen this guy, even though I watch so many camping videos. Sometimes French just clicks. What, Severus? Huh? Have you studied it? I like the way German sounds as well. It's great. That's true. I do like the... I don't know how else to say it except the mouth sounds. German has really good mouth sounds. Okay, where are these damn hash browns? Kofta sounds good too. I don't speak French at all, but I can somehow get it. Like there's enough root word overlap with your own language, I guess. We went from cheese to poop to anime to tea to Cultural Revolution to camping. Hold on, I need a screenshot. I'm putting it in Server Museum. I'm putting this in our server, guys. Oh, if you're not on Discord yet, here you go. Thank you everyone for boosting so that we still have the vanity URL. It makes life a lot easier. Where's Server Museum? Oh, there it is. God, that's so good. Oh, let me drop a YouTube side too. 1 second. I forgot Nightbot doesn't drop on both chats. Discord. Okay. I know Spanish and a decent amount of French is kind of distinguishable. I've also been told like Spanish and Italian is another one that has like big overlaps. I've actually never heard Ainu language. No. I've been curious about it though. Okay, let's just watch one of these. And then you guys have to stop me. I can't be allowed to watch more. I could be here for days. Choose wisely if I only get one. It's so hard. There's a fly. Okay, you know what? I can't choose based on the food. I have to look at the background. Tea? You know what? Yeah. Tea on a log. Doesn't violate the topic of today's stream. Does it not hollow out and like collapse? This kind of scares me, to be honest. It's funny to understand like 50% of Italian, but I've never studied it. This makes me kind of nervous. One time you stand, yeah. I remember I heard the last Pope speak Italian for a bit, and I was like, wait, why can't I understand that? I hear a lot of Spanish speakers make this comment, which is how I like learned about it to begin with. I love that there's, I guess they're both, romantic languages? So is that where it comes from? You had me at tea. Exactly, Zol, you get it. You get it. Ooh, the history of tea. Wait, this is an hour long. We may have to save this for a future watch-along stream. Oh yeah, let's watch these two shorts. Actually.
If you go to any tea store and don't know how to choose, different style, different flavors. So yeah, choosing tea can feel a bit overwhelming.
I've been meaning to watch some of these shorts to see like what tea shorts are other people making.
First, think about the tea type.
I have that exact Gongdaobe, this green handle thing. It's in my like drawer over there. Like I own this exact one.
In summer, lighter teas like green or yellow tea feels more refreshing. In winter, old white tea or dark tea feels warmer and more
I do drink more dark teas and old teas in the winter.
Fermentation reduces the caffeine level, so green tea is great for mornings and work time. Dark tea has lowest
What is a yellow tea? A yellow tea is partially oxidized. You can think of it as like a... Yeah, there's no better way to say it. It's a partially oxidized tea. There should be a chart that might explain it better. Here, yellow tea versus green tea. This is green and oolong. Hold on. I know there's diagrams out there. Oh, here. This one's not bad. Facebook, though. Damn. So it's like a percentage. Sorry. You're going to see a lot of these diagrams. They use the word fermented as if it's interchangeable with oxidized because that's how we say it in Chinese. We just say faxiao for all of it. It's very confusing. But when you actually talk to the tea masters and they break down the process for you, it's like part of it is oxidation, part of it is fermentation. Not all teas are oxidized and not all teas are fermented. So it's very confusing, but when you see diagrams like this that are clearly like they got translated or they were put together by somebody who like primarily speaks Chinese, you can tell because they just use the word fermented. But yeah, you can think of it as like a partially oxidized, because yellow teas are not fermented, partially oxidized version of a green tea, more so than white tea. It's a little bit more than white tea. But honestly, green teas, white teas, and yellow teas taste pretty similar. Yeah, I think I can say that. I think that's okay to say. I had to think about it. I was like, would anyone kill me for saying that? No, I think they share a lot of flavor notes. In the same way that like darker, like more roasted, more fermented, you could say oolong, because see how large this range is 30 to 80%. Oolong is kind of a catch-all in that oxidation / fermentation category. Like anything that doesn't slot into these other categories, it's like, I guess that's an oolong. But one of the things that defines oolongs, it is kind of a catch-all bucket. I think I can say that. Which is why there's so many different like names of teas under oolong, more so than the other categories. It gets really overwhelming really fast because you can have two different oolong teas and they'll taste completely different from each other versus like two different green teas, two different yellow teas, two different white teas. They're going to taste pretty similar to each other. Two different oolongs can be like massively different, like wildly. And then the other thing to consider is not just oxidation, but also hongpei. How do you say? Cooking? I don't know how to translate. Like roasting. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Roasting. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mr. Chen and Hydrelia got me. Roasting. Yeah. Not all teas are roasted. Actually, I think maybe only oolongs are roasted. Let me think. Yeah. The only roasted teas I can think of are oolongs. There are black teas. So zhengshan xiaozhong, for example, is smoked, but that's different from roasting. Yeah. And I personally, I don't like zhengshan xiaozhong smoked. So I have it the non-traditional way. I like it unsmoked. But for those of you who are new to tea, this is the sort of high-level explainer. It's also not, it's very hard to explain. I think for me, this is a good starting point when you're like just starting to get into like how to bucket the different teas, but ultimately the only way to really learn what the teas are is to just drink a bunch of it. So if this is like interesting to you, just there's like sampler packs that people will sell. I think One River has one. Jesse's Tea House should also have one. I really like West China Tea based in Austin. They also have sampler packs. Like a lot of the primary tea importers have samples, like sample packs, so you can try a whole bunch of different types of teas. Although the thing to remember is that because there's so many types of teas under each of these 6 umbrella buckets, if there's one you didn't like in that category, there may be another one that you do like. Like under green tea especially, I find that I have a really different opinion of green teas. I'm not a big Longjing person. For example, Dragon Well is not really my tea. It's a little too light for me. But if you take the same leaves and you make it into a red tea, I love it. It's called Jiuchu Hongmei instead. And then alternatively, there is, I think I was telling you guys about what's that place that makes beer? Qingdao. Qingdao has a green tea that they make locally that I love. Like, I don't know how to explain it, except when you drink it, it tastes green. Like, it tastes so green. I was like, chlorophyll. I loved it so much. I see Shomei first. Shomei first listed in white teas there. My dad always orders Shomei at dim sum. Oh, I didn't even know you could get Shomei at dim sum. We're a xiangpian family for dim sum. Either xiangpian or Actually, I usually go for chrysanthemum. If it's up to me, I say chrysanthemum. Yeah. Which isn't even technically a tea. It's a flower. Jovially, thank you for the raid. What's up? What's the question marks? Like a good druid got me. Was this for my chlorophyll comment? Damn, you're a tea nerd. A shockingly green tea. Yeah, exactly. Smoked tea sounds kind of good. That's actually, that's why 真山小种, like the smoked version, was kind of a gateway tea for all of the UK, shall we say. It's a historical tea in the UK because smoked 真山小种, you might know as lapsang. Lapsang sochang is what the Brits call it. It kind of introduced British people to tea. And then from lapsang, that's when they started to diversify and import more teas starting from lapsang. So it's like the historic like first tea that was brought along the Silk Road. It's pretty wild actually, but I don't really like. I actually have one right now. I have a smoked one that came with my tea club. I was like, I guess I'll give it another chance. I took a sip and I was like, no. Anyway, hello Raiders, what were you guys up to? Oh, thank you for the shout out, Severs. Check out Jovially, they were playing Broom Sweep. What's Broom Sweeper? Broom Sweeper. I hope you guys had a good stream. Thank you for the raid. It's good to have you all. Broom Sweeper is a Minesweeper style roguelike puzzle game. Unmask the evil lurking at Tentitech Incorporated as you ascend through increasingly challenging floors. Wait, the art style is so cute. I really like this. Okay, is it free? It's not. Oh my god, it's $25? Okay, I'm gonna wishlist it. Minesweeper roguelike. I'm really bad at Minesweeper, so... Well, I don't know how you can be bad at Minesweeper, but I'm bad at Minesweeper. I hate strong green taste in my tea. Get the chlorophyll out of my tea. Yeah, I really think that's kind of a dividing line for a lot of tea drinkers. Is like, do you like that green taste or not? It defines what kind of a tea drinker you are for a lot of people. I also, a lot of times I'll be talking, because I talk to a lot of tea farmers and like fellow tea drinkers. And a lot of times when I tell them my favorite teas and I say that I like really like I'll be like, oh, I like wasn't that into green teas. And then I really like the Qingdao green one because it like tastes really green. A lot of times they'll look at me and they'll be like, that's how you know you're still young. I was like, what does that mean? But as I've been aging and drinking more tea, I've started to understand what they mean. Because the greener the tea, the harsher it is on your stomach. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what the science is. And again, I was looking up stuff about this. I cannot figure it out. Okay, I don't know. I don't think there is good science on this yet. But again, age-old Chinese wisdom, the greener the tea, the harsher it is on your stomach. And under like traditional Chinese medicine philosophy, I guess, you know how they categorize foods as like hot or cold, and it's not a temperature thing, it's like an energy thing. Green teas are classified as cold, and cold things are typically considered to be hard on your stomach. So a lot of times when I say like I really like this green tea, and people go like, oh, that's how you know you're still young. The point they're trying to make is that like my stomach can take it because I'm like, my stomach is young. As my stomach gets older, it will be demanding like warmer and warmer teas, not by temperature but by like TCM definition. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I have noticed that trend. I am gravitating more and more towards black teas as I get older, or I should say hong cha, red teas. Yeah, it's wild where the coldness or hotness of things matter. Yeah, it's like a medicinal concept, right? What was that? Oh, for the meeting I have to go to. Okay, well, we have time for a few more videos, so I think we can keep going. You're a peppermint tea drinker, John? I think, have you tried like Moroccan mint tea? The really sweet kind? I think it would be really good if I just dialed back the sweetness, which I think is probably a horrible thing to say if I were to ever say it in front of a Moroccan person. But I didn't think I liked peppermint tea until I tried it in Morocco. It was kind of forced upon me. Then I drank it and I was like, wait, this is actually pretty good. I used to never like mint tea. And then I realized it was probably because of all the sugar they put in it, that it made my whole body light up on the carbohydrates. On the simple sugars, I should say. You're awesome. Thank you, John. I don't know what prompted that, but I appreciate it. I'm Moroccan and I agree with the less sugar comment. I hate when my parents say that. Like, my dad was always trying to get us to eat bitter melon, and when we tell him it's bitter, he calls us babies. Wait, bitter melon is also a cold food, though. By TCM concepts, right? This tea chart reminds me of the poop chart. It's a Bristol poop chart all the way down. You know what? Let's flash between it a little bit. Here's the stool chart. Here's the tea chart. Here's the stool chart. Wait, I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh. I see it. Always back to the poop. You can't avoid it. You can just put less sugar, exercise free will. Well, I guess the problem with like being physically in Morocco as a tourist is that generally speaking, I'm a guest. And so they made the tea already and I can't control how much sugar is already added. The crazy part was they were always like offering me more sugar. They were like, oh, you can adjust it to your personal taste. Feel free to add more sugar. And I take one sip and I'm like, that's already a sugar bomb. What do you mean add more sugar? You guys are freaks. It's the you're still young comment. That's true. That's true. I have gotten that comment about bitter melon as well. Yeah. Tieguanying is your favorite combo storm? I'm a Tieguanying liker. For me, Tieguanying is my gateway tea, actually. I think everybody has a gateway tea, like the tea that sort of escalated them on the tea nerdiness. Like, are you one of those people who's like really into tea? Like, which tea did that to you? Everybody has one tea, and for me, it's Tieguanying. It's apparently a pretty common one, because Tieguanying is, I think part of the reason it's a really common gateway tea is because it has such a range. Like there's a lot of like less roasted ones to more roasted Tieguanying, and you get just totally different flavor profiles. Like on one end of the spectrum, it tastes green, tastes like chlorophyll. On the other side, it's like, I don't know, almost more like coffee. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I really love Tieguanying. It's so fun. And then the super roasted Tieguanying reminds me of like Wu Yi Yen Cha. So then when I got into Yen Cha, I was like, I was having my first Da Hong Pao, and I was like, this tastes like a Tieguanying. And later on, I found out that it was like a valid opinion to think that there was overlap there. Tieguanying is what made me snobby against tea bags. I'm the exact same way, Combo Storm. Handshake. We have the same snob origin story. I don't think it's an easy tea to start with. No. It was only my gateway escalation tea because I had already been drinking so much tea by the time I got to Tieguanying, right? My gateway tea was my college roommate. I was hella gay for, but didn't realize until she moved. Frog with the lore drop. Oh my God. I'm sorry. That sounds like it was an important process for you to go through. Do you think about that one who got away every time you have tea? I feel like that would be hard. That would be really difficult. I think a lot of people, it helps that Tieguanying has gotten really popular in milk tea and boba places. That's so true. Recently, I've also been seeing Dancong, like more and more Fenghuang Dancong in tea places. What was it? There's a tea place kind of near me that started selling... No, I think it's straight up. I think it was a Phoenix Dancong, or it was listed in English as a Phoenix Oolong, and then I read the Chinese characters and it was like Fenghuang Dancong, and I was like, you're making milk tea out of Dancong. Like that's so 奢侈, bro. There's no other way to describe it. I was just like, what? And then I had it, and it was so good. It had like that roasty, like charcoal roasted flavor. It's so expensive, but I keep going back. Gabby, hello. Pour some boiling water on the Bristol number 5. That's the most cursed thing. Mr. Chan, that is the most cursed thing you've ever put in this chat. And you've put a lot of cursed things in this chat. A very formative time for you. Yeah, that's a good word for it. A formative time. Phoenix Dancong, my friend got it and loved it. It's such a crazy tea. It's one of those teas that like, it's a full-on assault on your senses, but in like the best possible way. Like you try a Fenghuang, the first time you have a Phoenix Dancong, you're like, tea can taste like that? Like, what's happening with my taste buds? In my nose? Like, what is all of this? It's like a fragrance bomb. Oh, it's so overwhelming though. Like, you really can't have, I think Yen Cha's the same way, right? Like, you can't have too much of it. You will overstimulate your taste buds, and then normal teas don't taste as good. So it's very much like you have to have it in strict moderation. Mr. Chan blames Bottle Cap. You know what? Based on Bottle Cap's track record in this chat, I fully believe you. This is like when siblings are like fighting, and then the parents are like, "Hey, stop that!" And then one of them is like, "But they started it," and then the parents like, "Actually, based on your track records, I believe that." That's what this is between Mr. Chan and Bottle Cap. I don't like Tieguanying my boba, just the common Ceylon black tea. I'm kind of the same way. I tried the Tieguanying boba a few times, and I wasn't really. I think because I enjoy Tieguanying so much as like a tea on its own, I just couldn't get used to it. It was weird to me to have milk in it. The tea attacks you like the kiwi. The kiwi hurts. The tea is pleasant. The tea is like, what's it like? What's a sensory experience I can describe? Think about the greatest essential oil diffuser you've ever smelled. Like when you know those room aroma, like reed diffusers, you know what I mean? Like have you ever walked into a room and you're like, oh, that smells amazing. And it's like you're kind of bathing in this smell. Like that's what drinking a Phoenix Dancong feels like. Like walking into a room full of the most comforting and also awakening, refreshing smell. And then you're like, wow, what is that? And it turns out it's like some stupid expensive like $300 room fragrance from like a designer brand. Because Phoenix Dancong is very expensive. Your world history teacher's room? I've never noticed the scent in any of my teachers' classrooms before, I have to admit. Come on, pulling up this frame after thinking about poop, not the best combo. Oh, you guys are talking about the frame we're frozen on. I honestly did. You're so valid. I'm sorry for criticizing you. I 100% take it back. You're right. That does look like a type 5 on the Bristol stool chart, doesn't it? You're right, bottle cap. I retract my criticism. Poop tea. Writing it down and maybe try later. I hope you find a good one. I think starting with the milk teas is actually a very, very good way to start with some of these more, shall we say, like harder to find teas. Yeah. Me as a sinus sufferer, diffusers are a coin toss. Yeah. Well, so that's why, the glitch, I find that I'm also a sinus sufferer. I'm really sensitive to smells. Sometimes when people come on, like, I used to take a shuttle to work and I remember there were always, these people would come on with like the heaviest, like vanilla smelling scents. And it would always get me going. Like I just couldn't breathe by the time and it was like a 1 hour commute to work because that's what being a tech worker is like. And I was like, I'm going to KMS. I'm going to jump off this fucking shuttle right now. I think about those people a lot every time I smell an unpleasant scent. But I think that's why the like fancy diffuser, like the really expensive ones tend to set me off less. And so I started to notice this trend that like the more expensive the scent was, the less I seemed to react to it. Because it made me really mad. I'd be like, wow, this smell is so good. And it doesn't set me off. Like, where did you get it? And it's always fucking like this $500 bottle from Aesop. Fuck you. I don't got that kind of money anymore. I'm not a tech worker anymore. I can't afford it. Dang it, capitalism, right? That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, shall we finish watching this video?
If you want tea in the evening, it's a nice, gentle option.
I drink a lot of pu'er in the evenings.
Think about the flavor.
That's why I mentioned earlier. Here, I'll just Google it for you guys. West China tea, Chenpi pu'er. I really, oh no, it wasn't West China. I like the, it was this brand. It was this brand that has Happy Earth. Happy Earth has a really good one. Do they still sell it? Do they not carry it anymore? Hold on. No. They have a shenpu. This is probably a shupu. And then that's it. They don't. No! Oh no! I liked it so much. They had the full citrus peel around the pu'er. F. The perfumes are so good, but being locked in a tiny space with it is always torture. Yeah. I'm the same way with vanilla. Whenever someone wears a vanilla perfume, I'm like, I'm not sure we can be friends. Like, that's how extreme it is for me. Like, if you're the kind of person who regularly wears fragrances that have vanilla notes in them, I genuinely don't know if we can be friends. Like, I don't think we could hang out a lot, at least. That's definitely true. Happy Earth sponsored me. Well, so that's the thing is, like, all these tea companies are, like, running on shoestring budgets with the tiniest margins. I don't think I'm ever gonna get a sponsor from a tea company. Sure would be nice, but I don't think I'm ever gonna get it. Or even an affiliate thing. I don't think they got the margins for that. Teaware maybe. I've gotten Teaware sponsorships before. That was very cool. It was one of my favorite sponsorships. They were also really nice to work with because they were a startup, and so I was talking directly to like people who worked on the product. It was great. Sanyan, hello, welcome.
Tea is clean and
He just quickly checks perfumes.
Soft and lightly sweet. White tea feels natural and calm. Black tea is smooth and sweet. Oolong is all about aroma and dark.
It's actually really funny that she calls black tea smooth and sweet because all of my favorite black teas are extremely acidic. Like I mentioned earlier, I drink a lot of unsmoked lapsang, unsmoked 真山小种. Very sour. Like for a tea. Teas don't get that sour. For a tea, very sour. To the point where like I steeped it for my mom once and she like made the sour face. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was that extreme. My bad.
Rich and
you.
grounding. And third,
Great things happening today for anyone?
If you're new to a tea
yeah.
or drinking with a lot of friends, white tea or black tea is a safe choice. They're sweeter, less bitter, and easy for most people to enjoy. If you're hosting important guests or just want to show your muscle, oolong is a great choice. High aroma, lots of layers, very
Oolong is 100% for flexing.
Just a general guard. There's no right tea, only the tea you enjoy. Try different ones, trust your taste, and
that's one of my favorite Chinese tea sort of like philosophical points is that generally speaking, anyone who knows anything about Chinese tea strongly subscribes to the belief that there is no correct way to drink tea. There is no best tea. There is only the tea and the method that suits you. So however you like to drink your tea, whatever tea that may be, however you want to steep it, if you know that you like that, then it's correct. Which I actually find like as somebody, I don't know, I think it's a really liberating concept because I think that tea feels really daunting to a lot of people because it feels like something that's steeped in tradition, and it is. And as far as those traditions go, yeah, I guess there's like correct ways to follow specific traditions. But what really matters when it comes to like an actual daily tea practice is that you experiment and find what works for you. And I love that the community as a whole agrees that that's the correct way to do it. Like the only correct way is the way that you like it. I think it's very Taoist. And therefore very freeing. Like in a world that is always trying to tell us what's right and what's wrong and how wrong we are all the time, or how much we failed to fill the templates that have been set out to us as dictated by societal expectation, I find this concept extremely freeing. That you're like fully allowed to just explore and do whatever the heck cursed stuff you want. Like you can never be wrong for tea. Black tea might just trigger your acid reflux. I really don't think it's that bad. Green tea is more likely to trigger your acid reflux than black tea, in my opinion, because it's harsher on the stomach. Black tea is like, even if it tastes a little bit acidic, in comparison to other teas, tastes a little bit acidic on the tongue, when it hits your stomach, it hits in a really warm way. I like started to understand what TCM is getting at when it says the green teas are cold and black teas are warm. Like you can feel it in your stomach. It's like a sensation. I had oolong tea in a can when I was a teenager. I was unable to finish it because it was so gross. That's so valid, Liz. I've been putting off trying oolong tea again because of that, but in the end when I had it properly, it was really nice. Trigger your ass reflex. What did I say ass reflex instead of acid reflux? No. What did I say? I don't know what I said. I cannot be, my mouth cannot be trusted. Oh God. Wait, what were we talking about? Because Sanyan was working on a cosplay last time, right? You're still working on it? Was it you said it was like a keyboard blade, I think? And I thought it was like a keyblade, but then you were like, oh no, it's like a whole other thing. Dual blades from tiny paper models to my height scale. Oh, that's really exciting. I just assembled the birthday gift bowl plushie I was making to start over because it wasn't going well, but I'm hopeful it works better this time. Whoa, we got a lot of people working on handicrafts, huh? That makes sense. I do like to work on handicrafts while like having something on in the background. Acid, I get it now. My bad. I probably said it really fast. I'll be more careful about the phrase acid reflux in the future. Ass reflex. No. You know what? Yeah. Tea does trigger my ass reflex, as in it gets my bowels going. Coffee makes you poop? No. Tea. They actually both do. I've noticed that any hot beverage kind of gets are we just gonna call it the ass reflex from now on? Oh, help. So funny. I like how Liz had to come into YouTube chat to apologize too. We were talking about stool earlier. Couldn't be too sure. You know what? You bring up a fair point. That is a very, very valid point. The Sid did not register. All right. Anyway, I appreciate the sentiment of these kinds of videos is all I'm trying to say. Okay.
Welcome to Titerra.
That's from the
Today, let's dive into the bold and beautiful world of
when the
black
body
tea.
is tea, the ass
Compared
reflex.
to green tea, black tea is fully fermented. It's like the differences between morning dew and the late autumn sun, which gave it
Oh, that was such a
rich
poetic way
amber
to
glow,
phrase it.
sweet aroma, and a mellow, round
Wait, one more
flavor.
time. Like the morning dew and the late
aroma
autumn
of
sun,
morning
was
dew
it?
and the late fully fermented. It's like the differences between morning dew and the late autumn sun.
So
Which
poetic.
gave it
I love
rich
that.
amber glow, sweet aroma, and a mellow, round flavor. The aroma of black tea are rich and layered. Most fall into floral, fruity, or honey-like notes, but some are more unique. You
A lot of
might
my favorites
find
are the honey
turmeric
ones.
undertones or even smoky. Surprisingly, most of the green tea can be made into black tea. It all comes down to the fermentation process.
Most
Which
is doing a lot of work
transfer
there
the
because
leaf
a lot of
and
green
bring out a
tea,
new
you pick green teas at their point of like, a lot of green teas are prized for their freshness. And so you pick I'm blinking on the English, the sprout. So like, they use is like two leaves, one bud is how they describe like the sprouty parts that they pick off for green tea. And those tend to be too, I only know my tea words in Chinese, too nun, too tender. My translation neurons are offline today. I usually have a better time than this. The one bud, two leaf sprouts at the top that you usually like to pick for green teas tend to be too tender to be processed into black teas because there's a lot of like extra processing, like physical processing that happens for black teas. So they literally, because they're too tender, they disintegrate in the processing. So oftentimes the green teas that they do make into black teas, you have to wait for a later harvest where it's a little less tender. Like it's a little more law. How do you say that? A little more how would you translate law in English? Why are my translation neurons offline today? They're a little more mature, I guess, like stiffer, firmer, less tender, I guess. In other words, bilingual malfunctions. Aged isn't quite right because aged has certain, it's like a reserved word. It has connotations. But yeah, sorry. What you might need is more tea. Fly, I think you're right. Cheers to that.
kind of sweetness and depth. Black tea helps digestion, boosts energy.
I have
and
really
soothes
noticed
the
this.
gut.
Like black tea
It's
is
perfect
so
for morning
good on my
calm
stomach.
or an afternoon reset.
That's my number one
Got a
afternoon tea. Is
favorite
black tea.
black tea? Let us know, and don't
Like
miss out.
you know how I think one of my favorite things about a tea practice is that like it's like meditation. And I can't do meditation. You know how I said I really wanted to brainstorm ideas for like videos I wanted to make about tea? I think that's our first one that I've thought of this whole stream, which is kind of sad because we're almost at 3 hours and my alarm just went off. So I need to end soon. But I think, here, I have a Notion open. Video idea. I think an interesting one would be, because I think a lot of my tea practice actually stems from STEM, haha. Tea puns are really easy, huh? They're almost not worth making. It's such low-hanging fruit. They stem from my ADHD. Like, I think tea is a really interesting way to, shall we say, cope. Because it's such a great stim. It's extremely unboring. So for those of us who are like maybe on the more hyperactive side of the spectrum or on the more inattentive side of the spectrum, if you struggle with like meditation, I think tea is a really fun alternative. So let me say meditation alternative. That's like one of the reasons. And then similarly, I think tea is my gateway into like, I feel you'll hear any diaspora asterisk like of any culture person say this, but I think a lot of us feel very separated from our root cultures and root. Oh my God, they're like the puns just fall out of the sky. They grow on trees, haha. Anyway, I think tea is also a really good gateway into Chinese culture for me. Okay, just making a note. I think those are already two different video ideas. Love a video on ADHD and tea practices. That's exactly my Venn diagram. I feel like you can almost guess from your Twitch username, loose leaf page. It tracks. I think rooibos is great. I really like rooibos, actually. As someone who generally doesn't like herbal teas. Oh, I guess that is another tea like video idea is I think a lot of people struggle with herbal tea. If you're like me and you're a chronic tea drinker, and you want like herbal options, but most herbal teas taste kind of wacky to you, I have some options. Like for me personally, I really like, I mean, you guys know I love chrysanthemum. I grow it. I grow it and dry it myself, right? I love chrysanthemum. But aside from chrysanthemum, barley is really good. If you specifically buy like the whole barley grains, I think a lot of Korean supermarkets sell them. Barley tea, corn silk, sword bean, I think I mentioned. Chrysanthemum, we already said. Rooibos I really like, actually. Rooibos is if you want that like sour, stimulating flavor without it being caffeinated. Rooibos really hits, like scratches that itch. Yerba mate doesn't solve the problem because it's so caffeinated. Mate gets me like hopped up. Like I feel crazy on mate. I had to stop drinking it. I was like, this is worse than coffee. Yeah. Rooibos. I don't know. I guess I've never double checked how to pronounce it. I actually just assumed it was rooibos. It looks like it should have been pronounced rooibos. Probably missed a stream. Your keyboard sounds new. Yeah! I changed it because the volume dial on my other one started to malfunction. So this one, isn't this so cute? I feel like the color palette really suits me. I was like, wow, yeah, that is kind of druid core. And it has a creamier, or maybe a thockier sound than I'm used to. As someone who likes to bottom out my keys, I really like linear switches. So I was like specifically looking for linear switches. Himeko's breast mole. What a Twitch username. Oh my God. Wait, is Molly Breast Milk still here? We now have 2 people in chat with the word breast in their Twitch username. And I think that's beautiful. If that isn't synchronicity, I don't know what is. I think you guys should be friends. You have elevated taste, Himiko's breast mole. I 100% respect it. Good to see you. Hello. It sounds thocky. Yeah, my old keyboard was not thocky at all. It was more clacky. Yeah. Certified ball knower. Ah, you guys are so cursed. I love it. I think what I love about our chat specifically is that, like, I don't know how we manage it, but it's like cursed in a kind of like not gross way. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of things that are like haha cursed funny are also kind of disgusting. But I feel like a lot of the cursed stuff you guys say here is just kind of out of left field. Like it's more like absurdist, Dadaist humor. I really enjoy it. It's very fun. It's blurs. Yeah. Cold brew tea sounds dangerous. Oh my God. Cold brew green tea. That was the most, we were talking earlier in stream about chatsui, like tea drunkenness. The most tea drunk I ever got was I had a really light breakfast that day, and it was like a summer day, so I had cold brewed it was a biluochun. I had cold brewed a biluochun, which I don't know how you translate a biluochun, man. It's how do you translate it? What do the Americans call biluochun? English name. Is there an English name? Green Snail Spring? That's a disgusting English name. I'm not calling it that. It's a 碧螺春, and it's one of the few green teas I do actually like, but it goes bad so fast. Like, it's not like you can't drink it, it just tastes bad. Once it's not fresh anymore, it tastes so bad. It tastes stale. So you have to drink it within like a few months of its peak freshness. Anyway, so that's why it's like full of caffeine, because you're drinking it so fresh, and it's barely processed because it's a green tea. Green teas, literally, they get like wilted under the sun a little, and that's kind of it. After that, they're dried or like fried in some cases. Anyway, I had cold brewed it, and it was that time. I don't know if you guys remember, I invited Kyle onto stream, and we were doing a live voice clinic, and they were coaching me through 2 songs. It was Ashes from Promare and Everblue from Blue Period. And we were both, I had like a whole like pitcher of it. We drank that whole thing, and afterwards we went to get lunch together after, and I was like, we were both like vibrating in our seats. Yeah, it is almost time. Good reminder, Kami. Thank you. Yeah, it's just, if you're cold brewing a tea, it tastes great. But be careful. Be careful out there. I felt insane because we were drinking it like water. Wow, I think about that a lot. I think about that moment a lot. Like I was like, never again. Like, that was really fun. I'm never doing that again for the rest of my life. That was a fun stream too. I think it helped that we were both extremely amped up on caffeine, and I don't think either of us really even noticed until stream ended, and then we were like, why are we like this? Why is it like... What's this? Does cold brew matcha work similar? I would assume, because matcha is really similar. It's very minimally processed. It's very green. It's very caffeinated. So, yep. I've learned so much about tea today. I didn't know there was a traditional tea that's made cold brew. Yeah. I mean, it's not technically a traditional brewing method, but a lot of people drink, like a lot of Chinese tea drinkers will do that, especially in the summer. It's just like, it's one thing to, it's one way to make a cooling, like green tea is considered cooling, right? To make the cooling thing literally temperature cold. So, okay. I do have to go. I have literally 2 minutes. So thank you guys for coming to today's stream. I know we wandered all over the place, but I thought it was really fun. So it seems like you guys had fun too, if I'm reading chat correctly. So thank you guys for enjoying it with me. Next stream will be Where Winds Meet. This time we're actually going to finish Kaifeng. I've actually cleared the level requirements already, so we're good. But I'm going to try to finish more of the Jianghu Legacy before the stream, just so I have a little more story context. So hopefully we'll have enough time, because I also have a time limit on that stream. Like a 5-hour time limit, so it should be okay. So that'll be Sunday. Yep. As long as you had fun too. I did. We talked about poop. Therefore, it was a good stream. That's my metric, guys. All right. Usually I would raid, but I do have to go, so I'm unfortunately not going to. But thank you. If Mika and Jovali's chats are still in here, thank you guys for raiding in. I really appreciated it. It was fun having you guys here. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, have a wonderful time of day. I will see you all next stream or next week or whenever it is you guys tune in again. Thank you. Bye-bye. What's a Ying stream if there's no tangent? Exactly. Well said. And you guys encourage it. So is it really my fault? Okay. Bye. Bye-bye. I should bring back the BGM, huh? Okay, here you go. Here you go. Enjoy. Bye-bye.